All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of Happy Hour Live Chat with Big J Knives and Boston Blade Reviews Happy Hour Live Chat. And today we're featuring no other than RJ himself from RJ's Knives. Now, RJ's been all over the place. He's got his own live he does every Sunday. I believe it's 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. Correct, RJ?
That's right. Yeah.
All right. And I'm going to let everyone else introduce themselves.
How you guys doing? It's Boston Blade Reviews.
And I'm RJ from RJ's Knives.
All right, that didn't go smooth. I messed it up at the beginning, but guys, what we want to do is we just want to learn a little bit more about RJ, kind of like we do with Jersey Knife Guy, and we got some questions that me and Boston are just kind of going to round robin and just learn a little bit more about RJ. RJ has been very kind to Boston and myself in this journey from starting it from day one. Wouldn't you say that, Boston?
100%. I'd say that with enthusiasm. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know he's had both of us on, and it was great being on there. It really was. And, the outpouring of people just wanting us to do the lives and things like that. It just, I just never expected it. And now here we are. We got our own live chat going on Saturday nights, and people are actually watching us, which is hard to believe. But so we're just going to start this. So, Boston, you got the questions as well. If you just want to go ahead and kick it off, and we'll start talking to RJ.
Absolutely. So, actually, what's funny, Jay, is when I printed this out, I printed it out a little bit small, and I didn't get the colors on there. So,
well, you got number one.
It's all right.
So you didn't get my answers? Is that what you're saying?
He got the questions.
Right. I got that's the roll with it, right?
Oh, yep.
Yeah. So anyway, it's great to have you on here, though. First, it really is. Me and Jay were looking forward to this big time. So it's great to have you on here. So we were kind of just, tossing the questions around. So where, if you don't mind, where did you grow up? Can you tell us a brief, a little bit of your early days and getting out, a little bit about yourself from there, if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, first off, I want to thank you guys for having me on your live stream. I really appreciate it. I've been looking forward to this all week because this is fun, and I'm kind of in a different seat, because usually I'm running one of these things, and now I get to be the guest, so it's, hopefully not too much heavy lifting on my side, but this is a lot of fun. But as far as where I grew up, I was born in the suburbs of Los Angeles, so I grew up as a city kid, and I was, going around there, but and I think it's because, my dad was from Wisconsin, and he grew up on a farm. And so, when we were kids, every once in a while we'd take vacations back to the farm and stuff. So I did get some of that exposure to, country living and stuff. And then my best friend, when I was about in middle school, he was from Michigan. His family was from Michigan. And they were all big hunters and fishermen and stuff. And I used to tag along with them. And I just loved that stuff. We used to go fishing. We used to, go hunting and stuff. And of course, knives fit right into those activities. And like I said, on Tom's show, when I was a kid, I can remember just always being fascinated with, swords and axes and, all that kind of stuff. If there was an old movie on, like The Adventures of Robin Hood or something like that, I was tuned in, man. If there was a chance of a sword fight, I was going to watch it. So there was, that, and I can remember, looking at the encyclopedia, that my parents had, and I'd go dig through there and look at pictures of, the knight's armor and different things like that, samurai armor and the different swords and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of fed into my whole thing of history and arms and armor and stuff. And then, being a little bit adventurous and stuff, like I said, I started off in the Cub Scouts, and then, we just went from there.
And I actually have that written down for question 2 about the Cub Scouts. Sure. So I kind of just going to roll right into it. I didn't expect you to say that, but I did. I watched some of your older videos and heard you had knives in Cub Scouts. But when did you get your first real knife, as we would say?
my first. Yeah, guess the Cub Scout knife was my real first knife, but that was one because when we were in Cub Scouts, I was in elementary school. So that was one that, like, if we were doing an activity that had the knife, then, it's like you got the knife to take with you. But then if you weren't doing that, then that was kind of like not something that you carried around. So I didn't really have an EDC knife until I was like a teenager more. And like I said, that was when I had signed up to join the NRA because I was getting interested in hunting and firearms and stuff. And they had a Stockman. In fact, I have it. I got to find it here. But
that was my next question, to show it.
Well, I don't. This is not the one, but it was a 34 OT like this one. This is a USA made 34 OT. And the Cub Scout knife is lost to time, wherever it went. But a knife like this was my EDC, like, really every day. And then when I actually saved up and worked up for a hunting knife, then a Buck 112. This is the 50-year knife. I don't have my original Buck 112, but I tell that story in Tom's. Yeah, you know it, Kev. That was I tell that story in Tom his video, so we won't go over that.
Okay.
If you guys watch that interview with me, I tell the story about my first 112, how my brother has it, how he won't give it back, and and I really feel bad that I didn't take it from him when he offered it to me years ago. But that's okay, because I got this one, and then, like I said, then time went on. I joined the service. That's how he got that 112, because I couldn't take that with me to boot camp, so I gave that to him, and then just been rolling with buying knives as I can throughout the years. Didn't really become a serious collector till probably about 2 or 3 years ago, I would say, is when it. But my first collector knife actually was earlier, because I was thinking about that question, and my first actual collector knife that I bought as a collector, I'd say, is the 50th anniversary Buck 110. Because when this came out with the special shield, I got Boston all fired up. He was that was like the first one that I bought that I said, hey, this is definitely something I want to buy, something I want to hold on to. And it didn't hurt that at that time I was about the same age as a Buck 110. So
there you go.
Wow. That's so your first. So let me just to clarify something. But
sure.
The old timer is what you got when you were out. One, obviously, because that got lost along the road.
Right.
But and then your first real. Well, that was your first real knife, actually.
Right.
Then you got
that was my first slip joint, was an old timer, and then my first locking knife was a Buck 112.
Right.
Yes. Then I went to my second locking knife, which everybody loves to see this one, and that's the Kershaw 1050.
Oh man!
So I bought this, when I was still in the service, or right before I went in the service. I don't remember when. I remember it was in the early 80s. It had to be 81 or 82 when I had it, and I've still held on to it all these years.
You obviously can't get that anymore anywhere.
No, you can get it on eBay.
Right.
I know that even who was it? Snap-on Tools, I think, sold this for a while too, and they had a version of it. I don't know if it was if they sold it as a Snap-on branded item or not, but definitely something that I've held on to. So I've got a big affinity for lockback knives. I always love those.
Do you mind if we get I actually haven't seen that. Can I see that? Can we see that knife one more time?
Yeah. So this is Kershaw 1050.
Nice.
And, so it's got a phenolic resin handle, the brass guards, jimping on top. Just it's a beast. And I still have the sheath and stuff. The only other guy I know on YouTube that has one is Gary, the Last Ranger. And so he and I actually kind of formed a relationship over this knife, because he's like, hey, you got one too. But yeah, so that definitely helps, when other YouTubers have the same stuff you have, and then you can, join in, in friendship over that.
I was just going to
Rick,
say,
I
Snap-on
see
will sell that to you.
What am I hiding in my beard, Rick? I can see the comments, but for some reason I don't have the ability to add a comment, and I don't know why.
You try hitting the chat button. See chat?
Chat button.
Yeah,
okay.
so the comments, and then the other one will say chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, one says private chat. Okay, so I can chat with everyone in the studio there. There it goes. Now comments. Yeah, and it takes it away. Because in private chat I have the it says I can chat with everyone in the studio, but then in comments it's not there. Oh well. Sorry guys, I can't answer all your comments. I'll have to rely on Big J and Kev to do that.
We'll get them out there for you.
I was just going to say that Snap-on will sell you that knife for $10 a month for 35 years.
They will. Yeah.
So we'll jump into the next question here for you, RJ.
Sure.
So, in your younger days, you actually kind of really already answered this, but sports, outdoors, running around the neighborhood. So basically, you kind of already answered this, and you were all over the place. City life.
Well, I was raised, back in the 70s, so I mean it was like we had family that they lived by the beach, so we used to go to the beach a lot, every summer, and I'd stay with them and stuff, and we would spend days on the beach, just going out there and doing stuff. When the boogie boards became a big thing, we all had boogie boards, and we were doing that. I never really got like into surfing or anything like that, but skateboarding, BMX bikes, riding a bike to school was normal. I was part of the generation where on summer vacation, your mom said, get out of the house and don't come back till the street lights come on.
That was
just the good old days.
Yeah.
And somehow we all lived, but
you don't see that anymore though.
No, you don't. And I'm not saying that was necessarily better. It was better in some ways, but not as much. But when you compare generations, I think the best way I heard it was a stand-up comedian that he said, the difference between the kids of today and like kids like when we were kids is the difference between indoor cats and outdoor cats. Yes. And I said, that is 100% right on.
Yes, it is.
And I'm an outdoor cat, boys.
Yeah. I couldn't be locked up in the house like that. I'm sorry, but it's a different generation.
Yeah, I can't even. I've worked jobs where you go and work at a building and sit in an office for 8 hours a day, and I've always hated it. Those are, to me, I feel better being able to go outside, being able to travel, being able to do things of that nature. I don't want to just sit around. That's for sure.
I agree. Yeah.
So I went back and watched your first video. I think it was 2 years ago, and it was on an X-Lite electrician's knife, if I said that right. And you gave credit to Jersey Knife Guy, to old Pete.
I did.
What is your favorite electrician knife / multi-tools to collect and to use, actually?
Okay. Well, here is that X-Lite. And yes, this is the one that kicked it off. And I do like to still use this knife. I got this knife at work. When I first started, they issued us X-Lite toolboxes and or toolkits, and they had this knife, because all the tools are inside. And so when I got it, I was right on the cusp of the guys who got the toolkit that had a knife and the guys that did not. And so that was a big question. Did you get the one with the knife? And I was like, yeah, I did, So that was a big deal. But this is made by Camillus. It's a TL29 type electrician's knife. And I still use it. I still carry it from time to time. What one of the cool things was Stuart Harvey sent me a Colonial that Colonial now makes the knife for X-Lite. And so it has the X-Lite branding on the blade, and then it's, and I did a comparison video between the two. Then it's got the screwdriver wire stripper. So I like these knives, and I do kind of collect them a little bit. I found this one on eBay. This is an old timer, and check out the badge on this one, the shield on that. And this is from when the first year that they were made over in China. And so it came with this thing. It says Schrade Tough on the blade. And on the other side, it shows that it was made in 2005. That's in that little circle. And there's a video up on this one. But what was different was it actually has a little locking Romex stripper on it. So I had never seen this. In fact, there's a series of this knife called the mystery knife, because I was like, what is this? At first, when I got it dirt cheap on eBay. And I thought, well, maybe it's got a broken blade or something. I don't know. So I wasn't sure what that was for, but that was actually a Romex knife. I did bring a couple of tools. They're not electrical tools per se, but the internet loves the Nip-X pliers, and I carry these every day in my tool bag. And everybody loves it when I put pictures of these pliers and a knife on Instagram.
I heard great, Jay. I heard that was a really great.
And then I got this Weehaw screwdriver, and it's got the magnetic end that you can change the bit on the end, but the handle is a caddy, and so you can put extra bits in there. And everybody seems to like this one too, although this is a discontinued model. They don't make those anymore. I don't know why, because it's a great screwdriver and a great way to carry your extra bits with you when you're doing stuff. And then multi-tools. If you want to talk about multi-tools, I got a couple here. So the one I carry with me just about every day is I have a Leatherman Wave in here, and this is the one in this sheath. I have the bit kit, so you can change your bits in the Leatherman. So that is handy because I never know what kind of fasteners I'm going to be working on, from day to day. But this is just your standard Wave. It's not the Wave Plus or anything like that. Just a normal one. But I did put the pocket clip on this one because if I have it out of the pouch and I need to set it down for a second, instead of setting it somewhere, I'll just slide it into my pocket. And you can carry it that way, but it's really too heavy, to have it in, hanging off your pockets all day. But it's just a standard one. Another one that I use a lot is the Leatherman Wingman, and I like this one because it's the spring-loaded plier, on this one. But then it also, this was always the one that I take whenever we're going to have like Christmas or something like that, because it's got that little package opener on it. And so I always use that, and I kind of nicknamed this the Christmas tool because it is something that is very handy, especially if you've got to open up battery compartments for kids and open up all the, clamshell stuff. And the way they tie these toys into boxes nowadays, is just kind of nuts. Everybody that's a dad knows that. And this one has a pocket clip too, which makes it, handy for when you're operating at Christmas type thing. And then, go ahead.
Just for a second. So that was Leatherman you just had. That was the Wave, correct?
This is the Wave.
Yeah, the Wave. Yeah.
And then this is the Wingman.
So I heard a lot of real good things about both of those Leathermans. I just wanted to get your opinion on it, but I actually went with the Bond, the Leatherman Bond, right?
Okay.
And what the Leatherman Bond is a kind of a recreation of the first Leatherman.
Right.
And I have the first Leatherman. I have that, and that's kind of why I got the Bond. And the Bond doesn't get a lot of love, I noticed. I kind of look at reviews and things like that, and it doesn't get too. I'll tell you, because I like the first one so much, the first creation of it, the Leatherman Bond, it just all the tools. I mean, for my day-to-day work, it just doesn't needed to. Have you ever had? My question really was did you have the first Leatherman?
I did not have the first Leatherman. My actual first one, I didn't grab it. It's out in the garage. Was a Gerber multi-tool, the one that the plier head slides out.
Yep.
You know, so that was the first one that I had.
Okay.
And that one I really liked the knife on that one. I think Gerber always has a good knife on their multi-tools. And I enjoy that. But yeah, that one, I pinched myself with those handles so many times that I nicknamed those danger pliers. You're going to end up with a blood blister sooner or later because it just slips off and then, you know, there's nowhere to go. So I found that the lanyard that's in there, if you take the lanyard and you make it like sitting so it's proud at the half stop, then that'll stop those pliers from pinching all the way together, but it'll still get you up at the top, you know, if your hand gets in the way.
I had to go with the Sidekick by default because my son's lost my other two Leathermans, but I like it. I put the pocket clip on it because I keep it in my EDC bag, but I like it because you can just open the knife kind of EDC style and shut it one-handed. So, I mean, by default, I mean, since I lost my first two, but I had the original Leatherman and actually got the Gerber that you're talking about, and I gifted that to my wife. She uses that for her work now. So.
Yeah, so this one, you can open these, you know, one-handed. Same thing with the Wingman. The Wingman had the scissors that I'm not able to get those scissors to work. Maybe it's just that model. But then there's an awesome knife blade on the Wave. That's for sure. And the nice thing about the Wave is that you can open, you know, the 4 tools without having to open up the thing. So you get the serrated knife, the plain knife, the file, and the saw all come out, you know, without you having to open the tool. But then, you know, when I wanted something to fit in the pocket, I did get the Skeletool, and this is the Skeletool CX. This is the one with the 154 cm blade, and it's a nice light duty plier. You know, it's not too bad, and it does take the replaceable bits. You know, and it has a bit carrier, so you can put an extra bit in it. But definitely one that I think is worthy of getting, and the knife on it is pretty nice. And it's right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And that does have the bit driver?
It does. It has a bit driver in the one leg. So it folds up so the bit is here. And so then you can fold it out. And that's what I really liked, was a screwdriver, well, with some reach, you know, and this feels good in your hand to hold it like this as a screwdriver. But then that kind of led me to, you know, I don't really like, I carry this in my bag. I don't use it all the time, but I always have access to it. But when they came out with these Milwaukee 7-in-1s, this I think was a real game changer. It's a button lock, you know, but it's just a razor blade, and it's got a liner lock on it. Of course, I can't see it here, or no, it's a button lock. Sorry, not a liner lock, but this is a liner lock. The little screwdriver that's on it. The only thing, I wish this was magnetic. They give you a 2-sided bit in it, so the other side's flat. But yeah, it's definitely a good little tool, and one that gives you that reach you might need for a screwdriver.
I just wanted to answer a question real quick. Tony had a question. He said, "What was Leatherman?" Actually, Tony, that was the I believe the PS1. Yeah, PS1. I think it was called. Or
which one?
The first Leatherman. I have it. It's right here.
Oh, the very first Leatherman. Yeah, I think it was called the PS1. Yeah.
So, Tony, the first Leatherman was the PS1. I just wanted to answer that for you.
I see you, Tom. I see you in the comments. I can't answer. Absolutely, it is.
I'm commenting. Is my comments going into the chat?
I don't see them. I think yours is going to the private chat, honestly. Yeah, yours is going to
you're going in the private chat.
Yeah.
Because I can see your stuff there. But yeah, like I said, when when I click over to the comments at the bottom where you should be able to type in, I don't have access to that box, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I never had it
Yeah.
on yours either. I could see them, but I couldn't like type anything in.
Same here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to answer your comments, but
Yeah.
we'll have to.
If you guys see one and want to
Let me
answer,
see the
just yell at me,
thunder
I'll throw it up
settings
on the screen.
Okay.
real quick. No.
So, Jay, I think you're up.
No, I think you got number 5.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. What was your favorite? Okay, here's one for you. So, what was your favorite brand starting out? Is it the same now or has it changed? And would you show us one if you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I started out, I knew Old Timer and I knew Buck and I knew Kershaw, and those were the brands that were, I think, more popular in my area. That's what I used to see. The other guys around me were all carrying the same kind of stuff, and I have a theory about that because it seems like a lot of guys more on the East Coast were more familiar with Case and some of the other brands, and it wasn't as popular out here. And I'm thinking that way back, when before the internet, different areas you'd get what the distributors had. They would just pump out knives to wherever, and there wasn't like a huge collector market. I can't remember anybody being a knife collector when I was a kid, that I can honestly remember. I mean, there was guys that had more than one knife, but it was like, we use it till it, is too dirty or can't sharpen it or whatever. And they just throw it in the back of the garage and then they go buy a new one. And a lot of times they just go buy one at the store and that was it. And I can't tell you how many times I saw my dad, if we were kids at home and needed to sharpen a pencil and stuff, he didn't pull out a knife to do it. He just used his keys. He just pulled out his house key and just, there you go. So it's kind of like one of those more practical things. I don't know that my dad ever really carried a knife every single day until I saw him with a SD Classic. And that kind of was, his go-to. And to tell you the truth, I've carried an SD Classic every day since the 80s. So, I mean, if anything is my EDC of choice, I'd have to say it's that, because I always have one on my key ring forever. It's just like, I'll never not have one in my pocket. They work and they work good for what they are.
Absolutely.
But okay. Yeah, my taste has changed over time because when I decided to get back into having traditional knives, that was when I discovered Rough Rider. That's when I discovered Case. That's when I discovered, all the old ones. But if I was not paying attention back in the day, because like GEC, when they first started, had no idea. Queen Knives had no idea. Shatton Morgan had no idea. That was all, basically a whole different language that I had no idea that stuff even existed until I became a collector and everybody told me, you need to get that stuff. It's the best. And I looked at the price and it's the best.
Yep.
So I'm kind of still on the budget end. I go up a little bit, from time to time, but I don't know that I'll fall all the way down those rabbit holes.
Now, like your brand now, I know you trappers and Case. So Case trappers,
I'm in love with Case trappers. I got some of them here. I can't help it.
What's your favorite one? Do you have a favorite one right there you could show us?
Yeah, I'm carrying this one today. Is that one from Doom Crew? It's the Case carbon steel yellow trapper. I've been carrying this every day since I got it. And this is not my first yellow trapper. I have one that my wife actually got me my first yellow trapper, and that was in stainless steel. And it was funny because I'm opening it up and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh man, this is so cool. And I open up the blade and I go, oh, this is in stainless steel. And she goes, so you need to get one in the CV now. And I was like, I love you so much. You're paying attention.
Yeah.
My wife knows what CV is.
Now, and you probably already talk about this a lot, and I know you do like tech work / manual labor. So, what is your favorite brand of hand tools to use on the job or even at home? And I know you showed some right there.
Yeah, I mean, for screwdrivers, ever since I discovered Weehaw screwdrivers back in the late '90s, that's just been my go-to. That or Klein. You know, those. If you want a good screwdriver, you can't go wrong with either one of those. Uh, you know, as far as pliers, I really do like those Nipex pliers. I have a pair of their needle nose pliers, and those are really good too. Uh, so a lot of the German tools and stuff, if you go to KC Tools online, they have a lot of them. Amazon carries a lot of them, and now there's even companies, you know, that are making. I'm not going to say knockoffs, but you know, similar designs that you can get, and some of them are pretty good. You know, they're not all just a cheap ripoff. You know, so just depends on what you want to have. You know, but I guess everybody's kind of particular. You know, but when you're working with a tool in your hand like all day long, then you want something that works for you, and those work for me. You know, so those are probably my favorites. Yeah.
I'm seeing in the comments a lot of people are saying that the same thing. Case knives, buck knives, you know,
Yeah.
You know, all that. I'm seeing kind of similar right in the comments.
Right.
You know, it seems like those are kind of what people know, and those are the go-to. Of course, they have a lot on the side, you know, well, a whole lot on the side, but it seems like those are the traditionals that people lean towards.
Yes, absolutely. I got to answer a question before we go to this one. Tom from Knife Delights asked, "What does RJ trap?" And Thrifty said, "Stray cats." And that's true. I want to tell you guys how to trap a stray cat or any cat that you can't get to in your house. You just take a clean piece of clothing and you put it on your couch. The cat will be there in like just a minute, and you can catch him easy.
Especially if it's black.
Is that right?
Black shirt.
No, what?
Yeah.
You're right. I have a cat. You're right. You're absolutely right.
So I seen this pop up, and I thought I don't want to go too far without answering this. He's got a special knife his cousin gave me before he passed away in 2006. It's a Schrade 60 OT. What is your favorite knife that you would never sell? And mine is I would never sell any of them. I'll give them away, but I won't sell them.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Go ahead, Kevin. I'll let you answer.
All right. So yeah. So I have a question to all three of you guys. So what's a knife basically that I would never give away? That's the question.
Or sell. What that you would never sell.
Okay. Yeah. What is your favorite knife that you would never sell? I'm going to be honest with you guys. All of them. And the reason I said, I'm not saying that, you know, why I say that is because they all have a story. Every one of them has a story. And I do, real quick, I just want to say, I like the idea. Jay, that's great that you popped up that question. I want to do that during the live today. Just pop up people's questions so we can answer them. But yeah, I would say all of them, because everyone tells a story. Where I got this one, where I was when I got that one. You know, as you guys know, I drive a lot, so I get knives different places.
Right.
You know, some were gifted to me, some I purchased off of family members. But yeah, they all hold a piece. You know, I say all of them. That would be my answer.
All right.
Yep, I'm right there with you guys too. You know, I like to give them away, and but yeah, I'm not much into selling them. I mean, there's some that if it came right down to it, I'd sell, but not too many of them. That's
right.
for sure, because they all have a story and they all are great, you know, and they mean something to you, you know. It just, yeah, it's kind of something that'll be fought over after I'm gone.
Yeah. Oh, you put a lot of time. You also put a lot of time into it too. You put a lot of time into your collection. You know, it's a hobby. It's something that and like you said, it'll be passed along. I mean, these things, they'll go forever. So, yeah. I'm gonna jump into number 7, Jay.
Yep.
So when did you start? You know, basically, and you did answer this earlier. But when did you start looking around and saying to yourself, no, you haven't answered this. I'm sorry. When did you look around and saying to yourself, you know, I really got a good collection going now? When was that? like when, said he said, hey, this collection's really looking good now?
Well, I'd say I'm probably at that point now that I have a really good collection going on. It's not complete in my eyes in any way. I think I was talking to Tom about this. As far as because I'm still kind of a new collector, I would say, because I've really only been doing it like 3 years. So like guys like Rick and Pete and stuff that have been doing it for much longer, they're beyond the stage where I'm at. I'm still what I consider the exploratory space where I'm, if I see something that I like, then I gravitate to it, and then I might get a couple of copies of that, and then I might even get a couple more copies of that because I really like it. But then you move on to like the next thing. It's like what new pattern am I going to discover? What other thing is going to be, my new flavor of the day, as it were? Because I'm sure I won't stick. I'll be surprised if in 10 years that I'm still the same way I am. But then again, I just might. I'm a stubborn guy like that. So,
I'm there with you. I've been collecting for about 3 to 4 years, so I'm right on the same page as you, and I get
right.
it. That I talked about this, real quick. Yeah, about 3 or 4 years. So I'm still in kind of that exploratory state as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't have like one certain thing that I'm doing all the time, but yeah, it's just, I don't go after like one thing. There's some guys that they already know, like they want this brand or they want this style or they want this particular knife or, they want something that's made between a certain set of years or whatever. And
yeah,
I'm not that narrow focused yet. I'm still kind of all over the place.
I agree.
Me too. And did you notice a pattern that when you started, say 3 years ago, did you notice a pattern that you were gravitating towards? And is that your favorite now?
Yeah, because I think what really started me going back to that was when I found I didn't grab it. I should have grabbed it. That little Remington knife that I found. I was cleaning out a drawer. It was right at the start of the pandemic. Everything was closing down. Everything was kind of crazy, and I found that knife, and it just took me back to those days of when I was growing up. It took me back to, because that knife, I got it because me and my friends were going to go hunting, and I went to the sporting goods store and we were going to go hunt rabbits, and I needed some 22 ammo. And so I went there and they had this Remington tin that, like, if you bought this tin, it came with this knife and stuff. And I was able to afford it. And so I grabbed that thing because I love that artwork, that comes with all that kind of stuff. So I don't even know if I still have that tin. I might, but I just wanted the whole thing. And so when I got that, it took me back to that day in the sporting goods store when I'm like, 17, 18 years old, going out with my friends, going to have fun, not even thinking about all the problems of the world, that's for sure. And just, and that just took me back to that. And I was like, I really like these traditional knives because they just give me this feeling inside. And that's the way it is. If something touches you inside, then that it's something good for you. So now I'm like all about traditional knives. I still love my modern knives. Don't get me wrong. I still carry modern knives. I buy not modern knives. I love them just as much. But the traditionals really have my heart because they talk back to that earlier time in history, and that was when like almost every knife had a specific job too.
Right.
People had different knives for different purposes, so it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, where you had a knife for this purpose and a knife and I see what you're saying there. I see where you're going.
Yeah. Yes, Dang Ross. I think it was green and had a waterfowl design on it.
And also Mike Curtis, he said he's been collecting for 40 years. That's how long Mike's been collecting for. Wow, you got some time in there, Mike, huh? That's quite a while.
And then Warthog, how many knives did you own at the time you felt you're now a collector? He said he had 8, all purpose driven, and then acquired my 9th and figured, hey, time to amass a collection. So, I mean, that's a good start. I know when I had 8, I was like, I don't have nowhere near enough. I know that, but
yeah, I don't think I felt like it was at a certain number. Like I said, I can, go back to this 110, in 2014 when this came out, and I was thinking that this was my first knife that I bought it on purpose as a collectible, as a knife I wasn't going to, use, and just kind of use it as a yeah. I got my lab here.
oh yeah.
He's very distracting. But then, you want to go with mom? Go on. Go on.
Great
You
talk.
want what? Yeah, sorry. You know how it is. But yeah, that was like the first one I bought that was purpose driven as a collector. But then the rest of it is just kind of come along as I've done it. But I guess I thought I was a collector when I thought I had enough knives to start a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Which was less knives than I actually thought, because I was about 10 videos into it. I was like, crud, I need to buy some more knives.
Oh yeah, I tell myself all the time. And then Boston showing me, like, he'll buy something and then he'll send it to me and I'm like, I gotta buy one of those. So we did that today. I'm at Cracker Barrel and my wife's ordering a knife off for me. So
El Cap Addict asked if I could show the 1050 again. Yes, this is another channel favorite. Everybody loves this knife. It is a fantastic knife. It really is.
I love it.
So
beautiful.
If you guys, I do have a full video on this one. So, and you can see back when it was in its messed up condition. And then I cleaned it all up with some flits and stuff, because the brass had tarnished pretty bad and it came right off. I was actually surprised, so yeah, it's just a great knife. Absolutely great.
I'm going to be looking on eBay for that one, to be honest with you, Jay. That's a fantastic.
Yeah, you should. I mean, that's a good one. It's a good one.
It is a good one.
What's the steel on it? This one is an AUS 8. So it's I don't know if you guys can read it on the tank stamp. Let me get the one side that it's on. It doesn't even have it on the side. But it was AUS 8. This says Kershaw, Oregon, USA by Kai, Japan.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know if you guys can see that writing or not. It's usually really hard on these laptop cameras to show up. Yeah, you can't really see it. But like I said, refer to my video on it, and you guys can. Yes, it is a big knife. Here's a 110 for comparison. So they're right around the same size. The Kershaw, I think, has a wider blade. I'll open up the 110 so you can see those side by side. So basically the difference is one is a clip point, one's a drop point. And the Kershaw's got a much wider skinning type blade. Now that was what drew me to it, because I just knew I was going to be a big game hunter someday and be famous, but that didn't work out. So
dreams and aspirations.
Absolutely.
While we're talking about Kershaw and what Big J just said, I actually found a Kershaw that let me just grab it real quick here. So I was looking for a Kershaw slip joint in kind of a barbell pattern. If I can find it. There it is. So, I was looking for the barbell pattern, and I don't have too many Kershaws, but I happened to see a barbell pattern Kershaw online, actually on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably about 5 months ago, maybe longer. And I kept going back to it, kept looking at it, kept going back. I never purchased it, but I pulled the trigger the other day. And so this is the Kershaw Barlow. I don't know if you can pull that up, Jay, but this this one here is a fantastic knife for the money. You can see it looks like micarta, but it's actually G10. these are all these pins, you can't feel a thing.
Yeah.
You can't, it's just, it's the fit and finish is great on this. You have that big bolster, just like the Barlow's. It does not have half stops, but the fit and finish, like I said, there's not one gap in this knife. And you get a really decent sized blade. It has very good lockup. And just a really nice blade on that. That's kind of what drew me to this knife, was the just the blade shape on that. I'm really loving that. But yeah, I think I got this on Amazon for what was the price on that one, Jay? 20. You can't hear you.
I think Sarah said 29, like
Yeah.
29 and some change altogether total.
So if you guys are looking for a traditional kind of style box, you can get this one for under $30 on Amazon. And, really constructed, really nice.
I like the brass. What drew me to it was the brass. When you showed me the video, it was the brass liners.
Oh yeah,
it's got the brass pins, but when you flipped it over and the brass liners and the fit and finish, I mean, it was all tight. There was no gaps. I was like,
yeah,
I got to order it.
I have the Kershaw Brandywine, which is the Stockman, and that's the same way. It's fit and finish is perfect. The blades look really good on that one. I like that one. In fact, I think that's my second or third video.
And I think that's what I'm gonna do too, RJ, because on Amazon they have the one that on the Barlow, that they have the oh my gosh, what the one you just said, the
Stockman,
Brandywine.
yeah, the Brandywine, and then they have another one that's a Trapper.
Exactly.
That's
I think I'm going to look into getting those as well, but they do a great job with fit and finish on those.
I agree.
Boston, I think you're on number 9, but he may have already showed it twice.
He did.
So we'll see.
I'll show it again.
Well, I'll let Boston ask just to make sure.
Don't make me. Don't twist my arm that hard.
So do you have a grill knife, one that you would consider a grill knife in your collection? And if you do, could you show it? So I'm assuming that would probably be a grill knife, the one that you showed a couple of times.
The Kershaw?
Yes. Is that your?
Well, I never really considered it a grail knife. It was just one. It was one that I had to work for. That's for sure. Because I was still in high school when I got it. But I do like this one a lot. I don't really own my grail knife yet. So I can't really show you yet because I still don't have a GEC. I'd like to have a GEC someday. I don't have. I'd say if I would, as far as a grail knife right now, that Buck 112 that you have, that the Pro Sport model, that you have, I love that, and I want to get one. I don't know when I'm going to get it, but that's that's basically a grail knife to me right now. Is that I'd like to get that. I'd like to build out kind of a little 112 collection like you have, and get a couple of different ones.
And if you do decide to go that route, right? This is the Sport Pro, like you said, but you also have the Slim Pro as well,
right?
And this is the 110. I do have the 112 of this, but you have those two options. But yeah, they really, construction on it is great, RJ. And I believe that Big J may have one of these as well. But just a fantastic knife. Pocket clip, deep carry, great knife.
Yeah, I do not have one of those. No. I know I shot you a picture of something off of DLT Trading that was a higher end buck that I was thinking about, but I never pulled the trigger on it.
Okay,
I'm chasing these stupid 700 series bucks right now like a damn coon dog.
Yeah, well, that's what we get this bug for something, and it's like, that's all you're focused on. That's all you want.
And then I'm getting the numbers mixed up, and I'm bidding on the same one. I got a high bid on 2 knives that are the same model, so I told Boston if I get both of them, I'll just ship one to him.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Because when I got this 112, the 50th anniversary model, like I said, my brother has my original one, and I didn't realize how bad I missed having a 112. in my hand, and this, again, one of those things that it's a touchstone, right? It brings back all those memories of, when I was running around in the desert and doing all the stuff that we did. And so it's kind of like, I would like to have more 112s. And so you look at the 112 catalog now that Buck has, and I mean, there's an entire line of 112s. You can get them in all kinds of different, shapes and sizes, and finger grooves or no finger grooves, or custom shop, and, different steels and all this stuff. So it kind of makes it fun, that I go like, wow, but yeah, then I look at, a Grail knife that I saw just the other day, was on Instagram, and both my dad and I were big race fans, and we used to love NASCAR and all this other stuff. In fact, he was a huge Dale Earnhardt fan, and I saw a picture on Instagram of a case trapper that had the 3 for the Shield, and I thought, oh my God, I wish I would have known that existed back then, because there'd be 2 of them. I would have gave one to my dad, and I would have had one for myself. But I just didn't even know that was something that was out there. I didn't really look at it. But a story I can tell about my dad, because of course he's passed, is that it's one of those things of, I never saw my dad shed a tear, but he cried when Dale Earnhardt died. And so that just it's something that when you see your dad break apart, then it's bad.
Yeah. I'd had people asking me for the newspaper, hey, do you get a paper? I want it. But if I see one of those at my special little place, I'll pick it up for you.
Hey, that would be awesome.
Yeah. You said it's a case,
yeah,
Dale Earnhardt Trapper.
I'll send you a picture.
Okay.
I took a screenshot of it on Instagram because I didn't want to lose that ever again.
Yeah.
I was like I've got to, so as far as a Grail, I'd say that's definitely a Grail for me. If one I don't have, one I'll look for.
Could you do that, Rajay? Could you send that to me as well? Because I have a store that I also go to.
Yeah.
Jay knows about it. I go to a store that they've been around since like 1970, and it's a family-run store. And they carry all new old stock knives. It's unbelievable. If you walk in there, it's like you'd be in paradise. And that's where I get a lot of my buck knives from, to be honest with you. But send me a picture of that, and I'll check it out at the store where I go to also.
All right, cool.
We got our special places.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's good when you can find a little honey hole that is yours, and you can see what you're looking at and all that other stuff. Because I look around at our stuff, at a lot of our the antique stores and the pawn shops and the swap meets and stuff, that I've looked at, I don't see like a lot of collector knives. You see a lot of knives that people have used and used hard and stuff, and a lot of no-name things, a lot of different things that you just like, I don't even know what that is. You really have to look at it and dig through those boxes, to find it. But every once in a while I'll find some good stuff and I pull it out. But like that one day that I found that buck 113 and it was for $60. And I was like, yeah, I'm on it.
The money flies out of your pocket. It flies at that point. Yeah,
it did. I asked because I saw it laying in a case, and my wife and I were there, and I said, I'm going to go get the lady up front because I want to see what knife exactly that is, because it was just in the sheath and it was upside down, but I knew that it was a buck. And so I said, let me see it. So I pulled it out and it was a 113. And she goes, do you want it? And I was like, yes, I do. I said, this one needs a new home.
Hey, Georgia, he said he has a buck light from the 1980s, and that's a nice thing as well.
Yeah. Thanks
for being here.
Yeah, because my guy, he might have it at his house, and he owes me a big favor. I sold a $220 knife of his yesterday on my way home from work, just posting it and passing along information. Of course, he don't have internet or can send pictures, so he relies on me to kind of be a middle guy. So
yeah.
And, with him being his age, I'll do anything to help him as long as he just keeps giving me the deals. That's what I told him yesterday on the phone. He said, what do I owe you? I said, you just owe me a good deal. So we know you like the Earnhardt Trapper, but you also I'm just going to make this question 10.
Sure.
Because it was supposed to be what is your next grail, but you talked about you don't own any GECs.
That's
So
right.
if you were to get a GEC, I know what mine is going to be, my next one before I buy any others. What one would you like to have?
I couldn't really answer that question knowledgeably because I've seen pictures of GECs. I know I'm a total GEC newbie, so if I don't really talk to everybody about GECs. So if I come up with something that's kind of crazy, just forgive my ignorance. But I know GEC does like limited releases. And it's like they'll make a pattern. They're like, here you go. This is what's here, and it's just a limited. Everything seems like it's a limited run, or they only make so many pieces of that. Then they stop and they go to something else. Some of the ones I've seen that I would really be interested in, because there's a lot of oil out here and a lot of people work in the oil fields. The oil field jack, I've seen pictures of that.
Mhm.
And then they just came out, I think, or I don't know if they just came out with it, but then I saw another one. It's something about coal, English coal, but that wrench shield,
Yeah.
that appeals to me because I'm working with hand tools all the time, so that kind of appeals to me. The Barlows that they have, especially like the Tom's Choice, with the TC on the bolster and stuff. But I know that those are like sky high from what I've heard. Then I don't really know that much about all the other ones. I mean, I've seen a lot of people had the bullnose, the sodbuster one, and then there's a couple of the different ones with the lifter caps and all that kind of stuff. But that seems to be something that is real popular too. But
Someone just got one of those.
I guess this is the goodest time, as ever to talk about that. We were going to do it later while we're on the GEC. And what Big J just said, someone just got one of those. Guys, I don't know if you've seen the video that I did earlier on today. So I actually did a video, and I think I've seen some guys in the chat, some people in the chat that watch the video. But the last live that me and Big J did, it was last Saturday, and I forget how exactly the conversation went, but Big J asked me, "Hey, do you have a GEC?" Somewhere along those lines. And, we were talking Barlows. I like you're talking about RJ, you get stuff and things like that. But anyways, I've been getting on the Barlow kick, and I said no, I don't own a GC. And then the next question or comment was Rough Rider, like try a Rough Rider Reserve Barlow, and I believe
right.
I believe you told me that on.
I did.
Yep. And then Big J told me that, and I heard it from someone else. So I didn't have the Rough Rider Reserve. I didn't have any Rough Rider Reserve. I didn't have any GECs. So, the other night I'm here, and I told the story earlier. To make a long story short, I'm over here, and Big J, he hits me up, and he goes, "Hey, do you have a mail call?" And I said, "No, not that I know of." Somebody sent a package to me with a GEC Barlow. They call it, with a GEC Barlow and a Rough Rider Reserve Barlow knife as well. I have them both right here. And first of all, before I even show the knives, I just want to say how great that is. I mean, that's for someone to. I didn't know the person. I didn't know who this was. Big J kind of had some interaction, or he knows who that is. And I'm not going to mention who that is. I don't think he wants his name out there, and I don't want to put it out there. But someone I didn't know sent me in two knives, and just that's unbelievable to me. That for someone you don't know, and two great knives too, two fantastic. And I'm very appreciative of that. I want to say that, and I thank that person over and over again. But he sent me, the GEC. This is called the Barlow. This is my first GEC. Can you pull that up, Jay? Blow that up. Thank. So this is the GEC. This is called the Barlow. It has the red bone, the red saw cut bone on there.
Oh, nice.
Very, very nice. The fit and finish on this is perfect. I should have my light out here to lighten this up, but the fit and finish on this GEC is totally, I mean, you can't find one thing wrong with this. This is all flush right here. The blade on it, it has the half stop on there.
Right.
And then the reason why they call it the bear low, as you can see right there.
Yeah.
But fantastic knife. I can see why people are buying GECs, and this might be a bad thing because now I'm looking into GECs. So, you know, this might be a bad thing. But guys, this is my first GEC, and the way that I got this is just unbelievable. You know, I'm big on respect and all that, and this
right.
is, you know, unbelievable. Real quick, I don't want to take up too much time. Here's the next one. The Rough Rider Reserve.
Oh, you got it. Yeah.
Yeah. What a fantastic. This is another fantastic. I love the micarta on it. Again, the fit and finish on it. There's not one gap in there. Nothing. Beautiful shield, half stop, spare point blade.
Yeah. That's such a nice knife.
It's beautiful. It really is. Absolutely beautiful. But I don't want to take up too much time to say thank you to the person. He knows that person knows who he is, and that was very
awesome. Yeah, I had an unexpected mail call yesterday, and he was here earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but El Phoenix, he gifted me some knives that were really nice, you know. And I'm not even going to say what the knives are. You guys will see the videos, you know, but they're really cool, and that's an awesome thing. You know, I feel honored as a person because, you know, I mean, I'm a collector. I want to share my collection on YouTube, but to have, you know, people that go out of their way to, you know, donate things to the channel and help out the channel, because that helps me as a content creator to put more stuff out. And also, you know, right now is a really good time, you know, because we've been going through a bunch of stuff on my end, you know, so I haven't been out buying knives. I've been going through my collection, what I have, and that works out good for me, you know. So I'm not asking everybody to send me knives, but actually things are all happening to help me out, you know, in ways that I didn't even know, and it's a blessing. The community is fantastic. They, you know, really rally around us, and it makes me glad to be part of it. And then I was glad to be someone that I could pass that on. Tom was going through a tough time, you know, and I passed on, you know, gave him a whole bunch of stuff. And, you know, it's just, that's the way we work, you know, is that you pass it forward, you know. It's just good stuff.
That's why I love being on here. I don't just go on a whole lot of platforms, but yeah, just real quick. That's why, because this community is great. And I say that.
Absolutely.
That was a hard secret to keep.
Or it was.
I told him, I said, now I'm not going to say anything because I want to hear his jaw hit the floor all the way out where I'm at. So, but then he was like, he said he didn't get a mail call. And I'm like, man, I don't know what to say to get him to check his mail. And then finally I had to break down and say, hey, I think somebody sent you something. Someone's telling me they sent you something that you should go check your mail. So.
Unbelievable.
He's okay. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
I said, just be careful when you open it. You know, I don't want him jabbing his 110 into it and cutting the all the tube or anything. So it was awesome.
It really was great. This knife community is fantastic. It really is.
It is. Thank you, Rick. I see your comment there, and I know you've been going through a bunch of stuff there too, you know, so I hope you're on the mend and getting better every day too. Because you're a hero to a lot of us collectors. So with your collection, dude, is out of this world. And Pete, you're the same way. Pete and Rick have probably the nicest collections that are on YouTube. I'd stack you guys up against anybody. But yeah, just and wonderful guys too. You know, that's the other thing, is that they're both really good guys. I've been blessed by both of them. Absolutely. But I did see your comment. I don't know if Randy WSG is still in here or not.
I was going to put that up on the screen.
Yeah. Can you find his question?
Yes, it's way up there, and I actually had it down to put up there.
Sorry, we kind of got off on a tangent, but that's going to happen.
But I can't
It's live
find it now.
TV.
Yeah, I can't find it now. But he was asking. Oh, I want to put it up there so bad.
I remember the question. It was, you want to know about a knife that I totally hate, but I can't get rid of. And I don't think I have a knife that I totally hate. That's the one thing that there's some that I think that there you go. It's a knife I have that I hate, but I can't get rid of. I have knives, one that I've actually gotten better with, and that's one. It's a CRKT. I forget the name. I think it's the Endorser, and it came with this thing. It's called the Fast Fire system or Fast Lock or something like that. But it has a thumb stud, but you have to push the thumb stud down, and then it's assisted opening, and it opens. But then that lock is like it's locked. You have to push it in to let the blade free. And it's one that at first, when I first got it, like about a year or so ago, I was not that happy with it because I was like, I can't open this thing reliably. It's not that much fun. Why? But it's a great blade shape. I didn't want to get rid of it. Plus, it was a gift. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this knife? But you know what? I just put in practice time with it, and now I can open it fairly reliably, and it's not too bad. But it's still not my favorite opening system that was ever developed. Although it won a Blade Show award for innovation, but I still feel like it was it was a solution in search of a problem.
Yeah. Boston, I think you have number 11, but he's probably answered that one too. But I want him to show us.
Okay.
Real quick on what you just said about the opening of that knife.
Yeah.
So I just got a knife in today actually, and it's from Rosecraft Blades.
Okay.
It's the Mohawk. That
Yes.
they all we've all seen that. Now when I open this knife, I don't know. Maybe you guys can give me. Maybe people in the comments, you guys can give me your opinion. RJ, Big J, but when you open up this knife, you hear. I don't know if you can hear this. You hear that pop?
Yeah.
So
let me go grab mine real quick, and and I'll grab that knife with the fast fire too.
sure.
Yeah, so we'll try that real quick. So
my Mohawk's in the mail, so I'm just
okay.
Yeah. So when I get mine, I'm just going to slap a new sticker on it and send it to Doom Crew. That package that you sent me.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Oh, but you said that you sent something in there for me too, right? So
I did. Yes.
So I'll have to. Yeah, I'll definitely open it then. But I'm going to send Doom Crew the Mohawk and the all that electrician's knife.
Yeah. Can you throw me on? I want to show this real quick.
Yeah, man.
And I'm trying to fix this lighting too. It got dark here, guys. Well, it's starting to get dark. But anyway, so this blade here is the Mohawk. And you guys know Rosecraft Blades. They're doing some big things. And this Mohawk here, Scab over at Choir Boys Outdoors, he's big on this knife. He swears by this knife. I think he said he carries this knife every day. Big J got one, and he sent it my way. That's the one that I checked out, and I'm sending it back to him now. It's in the mail. But I got mine, and the detent, I don't know if it's the part of the detent or what, but it just has that little bit of extra click when you open it. And I'm just trying to figure out, maybe if that's just because it's new. I've never experienced that before. It has a little bit of a squeak, and I know that's because it's new. Big J.
Yeah, mine did that. Mine definitely did that.
Yep, he said his did too. But like when you open it, it just has that noise,
Yeah, I'd say it's a detent ball that just needs worn down,
Okay.
or maybe it didn't get filed down enough.
I got
But
mine.
Warthog says he has an Ontario rat with the carbon fiber covers. He hates it, but he's keeping it. And I know what knife he's talking about. It does. I don't think it looks like real carbon fiber. It looks more like a sticker, I believe, but I could be wrong.
Okay, so let me see if mine does it. Yeah, I don't have that.
You don't have that, do you?
No.
No,
it's almost like detent ball and just needs
Yeah, it's
five.
probably the detent. The only thing I had to do with the Mohawk was the pocket clip. I had to bend the pocket clip a little bit because it was so tight. It was like how cold steels come, where they're so tight and you can't get it in your pocket. So I just gave it a little love with the vise, and it was fine. So the other one I was talking about, this is the one. This is the CRKT endorser, and it comes with this fast fire design, which I can get it out now. But such a great blade shape. But with this, you can't really see it, but you have to push down on the end of the thing. So you have like a ball bearing or something that's there. And so by pushing this down, then it allows it to see it. It's easy to foul. But it's just one of those things that, see, sometimes it's easy to open, sometimes it's not. Always when you're on camera, you're going to have problems. That's the other part about being a YouTuber. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Like
Warthog says it'll work in.
I can do it 50 times when nobody's looking. Then when it's for the record, it's like, forget about it. But so it's definitely one of those weird things.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are saying in the comments that it sounds like the detent ball needs a little bit of oiling and
Yep, that's the other secret is lubrication.
Yeah, I did that. I put some in immediately today. We'll see how it wears. Let's get to the next off topic there, but okay, so traditional fixed EDC. What is your favorite? So what's your favorite EDC? Is it traditional? Is it a fixed blade? And if whatever it is,
I usually carry both. I carry a traditional and I carry like a modern knife with me most every day. And that's because if I have the time to open a knife with two hands, then I'll go for the traditional every time, just because I like it for, like I said, I like using traditionals. I think of it as style points too, but then like today, my carry was, I was carrying that case trapper, but then I had this honey badger, because if you need to have a knife, if you need to open it one-handed, this is a great knife to open one-handed, and it's locking, so it's safe that way too. But it's just something that for me, that's a I guess a perfect combo. So usually I'm carrying the trapper on my belt in a belt sheath, and then I'll just hang this on my pocket, and that works. So kind of depending on if I need both hands or just one. It just kind of depends on what's going on.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. If you have the time to open it with two hands, you'll use that. If not, you'll use your quicker EDC.
Right.
That's a great way of looking at that.
Do you ever carry a fixed blade?
Sometimes. I don't carry a fixed blade all the time, but when I do carry one, I do like these smaller ones, like these bird and trout knives. I grabbed this one. This is the Rough Rider bird and trout. But it's just a nice little, stainless steel blade. Got nice stag covers on this one, and they're just real small and handy. But, I think what, in my mind, the king of the bird and trout knives, and this will make Tom happy, is the 102 from Buck. It's just such an easy carry. It's such a great knife, lots of handle, and just a great size blade, and just perfect for an EDC one.
Great knife.
Oh yeah, I got an 87 model.
Yeah, I want it.
Well, you got to tell me when your birthday is, man.
Already know.
I thought you knew his birthday is tomorrow.
No.
Yeah. Actually, that's yesterday. So
it was yesterday. There you go.
Speaking of bird and trout, I got this little queen bird and trout. Someone threw some whitetail stag on it, but this is a little 45 through 55 model, and it come with this little shell. I got it off eBay for like $20.
That's nice.
Yeah, I need to send it down to to Tristan Barnett's what I need to do, and have him really put a decent set of stag handles on it. But next question, what made, I think you answered this. I actually listened to you answer this on a YouTube video, but I wanted you to answer it on this. What made you start YouTube?
My wife did, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife made me start YouTube. So it's all your fault, hon.
Wow.
I heard you answer that on someone, maybe an old video or maybe Thrifty's, what is that, Slice of Life?
Yeah. The story of my YouTube starting is kind of a couple of different things. It was one of those things that, I was watching YouTube and watching some knife videos and stuff, and my wife was watching it, and she goes, "I think you would do good if you did a YouTube channel." And I was like, I don't know, nobody wants to hear anything from me. And she's like, no, maybe you should try it. And so I said, okay, I'll go ahead and give it a shot. So I was thinking about it, and I was talking to one of the guys at work, and he said that sounds great. And he was the guy that gave me that resin cutting board. And he says, he gave it to me for Christmas. And I was like, oh, fantastic. I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to use this as my background for my YouTube channel. And then he actually did me a solid. He says, oh, you're going to start a YouTube channel? And the next day he comes over with a ring light that has a stand on it. Because he said, I watched your first 2 videos. They're too dark. You need to have more light. Because like I like to joke, the palatial RJ studios are in my garage. Yeah.
Dude, lighting's everything.
It is.
Like it really is. I got a buddy who does like professional photography, and he even puts on classes. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me that when I first started? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because I'm out in the garage, it's dark, and I don't even know what had me. I think I was I don't know. I think I was looking for the next thing that I like to do, because I coached football all those years, and then I started lifting weights, and I don't watch TV, so I want something to take my time up. And I had this little extra time on the weekends. I'm like, I could shoot videos on the weekend, upload them through the week.
Yeah.
And really, I think my wife and kids hated it, but because they were just so terrible to begin with. But hopefully now they're a little better. I got lighting, and I got like a decent little mat, and I got some people's stickers on the mat, which helps out too. So
yeah. And then I was talking, like the guys I was watching at that time. I'm watching Patty, I'm watching Knife Detector, I'm watching Big Red EDC, I'm watching Jersey Knife Guy. And when Pete had that Colonial knife that was the TL29 Colonial, but it was the same year as he was born, I was thinking, I have a knife like that. I would love to make a video on that. That'll be my first video. I'm going to make a video on that knife, and I'm going to make it. And of course, Pete's going to see it, and everything's going to be right with the world,
Yeah.
And Pete was kind of like, who's this guy? Leave me alone.
I think mine was cleaning.
Buddies.
Yeah, I think mine was cleaning up I bought a couple old knives at an estate sale, and I wanted to clean them up, and I think that was my first ones, cleaning up an old Marbles Expert.
No, Pete, your lighting is actually good. Your standard lights are good. So especially in your new room, I never saw that you had a lighting problem. So you're good.
Yeah. His, I mean, I can see his pretty clear, honestly.
Yeah. I never have a problem with Pete's lighting.
Mine, when I started out, it was bad. Mine were bad. Because I never had any lights.
Is that we're just starting this stuff out, and we're, it's experimentation. That's what makes it fun. It's experimentation. You're sharing your hobby. You're meeting, people that share your interests. You're just having fun with a bunch of people. So that's good. Oh, here we go. Dane Witt has another question for us.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. So when you go to a rough part of town, you carry your Beretta 92 and your Godfather switchblade. Do you guys have a switchblade? Actually, I do have a switchblade. I didn't bring it out. I can go grab it, but I do have a OTF switchblade. But I don't really carry it or anything like that. But but it's okay. I try to stay out of rough parts of town as much as I can too.
I don't have one. Just to answer. What about you, Boston?
So no, I don't have a switchblade. You know, I try to stay out of rough parts myself. But
Yeah.
but if I knew that I was, you know, to answer that, if I knew that I was going to area like that, I may carry just a bigger knife. You know, but I don't have a switchblade. And no.
Right.
Nope.
I'm in bed at 8 o'clock, so
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going anywhere like that.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Is that avoidance is the key.
Yeah. Boston, I think you're on number 13.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
So yeah, how did you link up with Tom, Patty, and Thrifty? Because that's a great team. You guys have a really, really great team there.
We do have a great team, and that is all thanks to these guys, you know, donating their time and their stuff to my channel. But basically, Tom was my first guest when I first started doing lives. I was doing them with Gary, the Last Ranger, and so because I had done a couple of live streams with him, and he was talking about how he prefers to have somebody on camera with him because he thinks it's better to have a conversation with another co-host and, you know, the community. And I said, yeah, that's kind of cool. So when I started doing my live stream, I had already become friends with Tom, and so I just asked him, you know, hey, you want to go on here? And so he said yes. And then we did a couple of them, and I don't even know the evolution of the guests, but I was just asking guys, other YouTubers that I knew, you know, hey, you know, do you want to come on this Sunday or whatever? And you know, Thrifty and me and Tom had collaborated on a traveling knife project for Pete, and you know, so I'd kind of gotten to know Thrifty a little bit, and we all kind of came around at the same time, our channels. As far, I think, I don't know if I started first or if Thrifty started first, but you know, we kind of, you know, shouted each other out and, you know, became friends over the whole YouTube deal. And, you know, so I asked him to be on, and then he was on. And then, you know, of course, if they're a good guest and stuff, you know, you want them to keep coming back. You know, I've had several returning guests and stuff. You know, some guys only come on one time, some guys come on more than once. But, you know, Patty was, you know, one of those guys that I just said, you know, I'll just reach out to him and see if he'll come on. And so he came on, and he had such a good time and enjoyed himself so much. He said, you know, I'd like to do this again. You know, I was like, okay, well, I'll keep inviting you as long as you want to do it, you know? So he's kind of got a permanent seat at the table, but, you know, and he's been around for, you know, I don't know, 9-10 years or something doing YouTube. And it's just fantastic to have somebody like him that, you know, wants to hang out with, you know, guys like me.
Yeah, he has a lot of followers. He's got like what, 7,000, or maybe more than that.
He's got probably more than that.
I'm probably thinking of Big Red. And
yeah, Big Red has got about
8.
I think he's at 7,000, almost 8.
Yeah.
And I think Patty's over 10.
Yeah, and Patty is very humble, because when I was on your show a couple weeks ago, and you were trying to bring Isaac in, and Patty was like, hey, give him a seat at the table. I'm going to go sit with my wife and watch some TV with her and have a tea. And
that
was very kind.
That was very kind and very awesome of him. I thanked him for that, you know, but he's just a great guy like that. You know, he really is. And that was kind of my problem for double booking, you know, but but those things happen, you know. I'm not a professional.
but that was awesome of him. Someone who has a large following like that to say, hey, we got a guy here with, like, I think Isaac about 1,500, 1,500, and they give him a seat at the table. And Isaac's a pretty knowledgeable guy, so he had a lot of knowledge he brought that day.
And I'll tell you another thing about Patty is that you know, he's never been one to not, you know, have people shout it out. He will take the time to shout out anybody, and it's just fantastic. You know, working with him and seeing how he does this. He's just a class act all the way around. And, you know, Tom is the same way. Thrifty is the same way. just, we all have that. We all have a good chemistry going, with us four, and it just makes it nice. And then I just keep on bringing on channels. I keep sending out emails, and some people say yes, and some people never get back to me, and it will just keep on going until nobody wants to be on me again, and you'll have to see me by myself.
Yeah. Thrifty's sense of humor. So like when I read his comments, it's so funny. Like it just kills me.
He's spot on.
Yeah.
And
very quick.
Yes, he is. The only thing I don't like is that I don't always get to see all of his comments, because of whatever's going on. Because you know how it is when you're running the show and you have the controls. You're the guy that has to make the screens bigger or smaller, and you got to highlight the comments and do all this other stuff. And it gets distracting because you also want to watch your guest too, because that's why you're on there, is you want to interact with this person too. So
yeah, he's got a good. When I look at his setup, I would love to know what's in them containers behind him for one, and then the way he's got like multiple cameras, and he probably's got a couple of screens, and the way he edits too. And I tell him this, I give him props. The way he edits his pictures at the end and stuff, I always tell him I love his pictures at the end. I stay and watch them all, and I just like how he does it. So
yeah, Rick from Warthog, he says he wants to plug a video he's going to post tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and give you permission, Rick. Yes, please do.
Yep.
We're all about helping everybody. So if somebody has something they want to shout out, I guess we'll go ahead. Tyler Gibson says, is your ideal traditional single blade knife that's slim or a thicker multiple blade knife? And my answer to that is yes. And because I like both. I'm good with a 2-bladed trapper, a 3-bladed Stockman, single bladed, knife is fine with me too. I love them all. So I'm kind of weird like that. Maybe not, not in this crew.
That's that's a really good question. I'm curious. That's Big J. What about you? How would you answer that?
I love what you would call a cigar pattern muskrat.
Yeah,
I love the equal-ended cigar pattern knife for some reason. And now that everyone talks about Barlow's now, I'm looking at those because I got Barlow's and I bought that old 20 through 40 tested Barlow. It had Joe make that slip for it. So now I'm thinking, do I carry a Barlow? And I'm just like, or do I stick with my cigar pattern? I don't.
That's why there's more than one day a week.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, the thing with certain patterns, I think when you look at like, say, a Barlow, for instance, a lot of people love the single bladed Barlow because they don't really have a use for the smaller pen blade. Right. And a lot of times when you hold a Barlow that's like that, to use the smaller pen blade, the main blade gets in the way because of the way that they're kind of, have that arch over the top of them. And so for certain patterns, it kind of lends itself to a single blade better, or one that you might prefer better. So I would go with that. Single bladed Barlows are probably my favorite. But yeah, there's so many great knives. And I have one I brought that's an unsung hero of mine. And that's this Texas Jack. I love this thing. And it's a 2-bladed knife. So it's but it's one of those ones that when you use the smaller blade, you can see how the main blade tucks away there. Yeah. So you can actually get on this and use it, and it's not in the way. So it may be slightly thicker because it's got 2 blades in there, but it's not a hindrance to so here's your main blade on that. But I love these little Texas Jacks. I think they're just great knives, great size. They're just not really talked about much.
I got a couple of them.
I thought I'd talk about that one.
Yeah. What about you, Boston?
What's that?
What about you? Your answer to Tyler's question here.
Oh no, I'm going to agree with JR on what you just said. I'm into the single blade Barlow. That's what I lean towards. I don't mind the ones with the 2. I actually have one with 2 blades. The cape. that has the little pen blade, and then but
Right.
I think because I don't really use the pen blade on it, and that's like what you
Right.
just. It's just and that's just preference. It's all personal preference.
Absolutely.
I just don't use it. For me, I can get everything done. Like here with this that little one, you can get a lot stuff done, but I can get everything done with the main blade.
Right.
So I don't see. I'd rather have it just one blade.
Right.
I can tell you what I've seen everyone using pen blades for on those. Clean out their fingernails.
Yeah.
When I was young. That's all I've seen them do with it.
I actually heard a guy that was talking about that too. That was how the old school back in the day. They used to use that little pen blade just to clean out their fingernails, and stuff like that. But I'm gonna actually see if Jo talking about that. If Jo can make me a sheath. I've been going back and forth with him, and I kind of haven't responded in a little while because I've been thinking about what I want made. And I'm gonna see. I don't know if this is possible, but I'm gonna see if he can make a sheath for a 112. But I want it the horizontal carry, and that's I'm not sure if that's possible, but I'm gonna actually be emailing him today or tomorrow, tonight or tomorrow. I'm looking to have him made horizontal carry for the 112 and also one for the Barlow for one of my Barlows. So see what he can do.
Yeah. And you just started getting into Barlows, didn't you? Like that K-bar, that was like a recent purchase, right?
So this K-bar here, yes. Yeah, this K-bar here was my first, to be honest with you, this was my first Barlow. This is a K-bar. This is from, I believe, sometime in the 80s. And it has those two blades on it. And I just purchased I'd say about I purchased this. And I love that Barlow design. I mean, it's I don't know. There's something about it that I like it a lot. Yeah. And ever since I purchased it, I've just been looking more and more into Barlows. And there's great patterns.
Did you see Rick's comment about his video for tomorrow?
Yeah, I put it on the. I didn't say.
It wasn't on the screen, but yeah.
Oh wait, let's pull it up here.
What he's going to do.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, that's not the one. It's where he's talking about his video for tomorrow is about the history of Queen and Shat and Morgan, I think. There you go. That's gonna be awesome. That'll be tomorrow that he's putting that out. So that's cool. And then they were asking because Tom said he uses his penknife to trim turkey quills, so he has something to write with. And somebody asked if they had paper when Tom was a little kid, and no, he was still using papyrus. Yeah. Don't let him tell you anything different.
Writing on hog skin.
Yeah, lamb skin.
Right. Rick's actually the one who got me into the Barlows, to be honest with you. When I was watching a lot of Rick videos, and he had an amazing. You guys already know. You guys seen it. His collection of Barlows. Wow. But I was watching a video of his probably a couple months back, and that's really when I was like, that's a great pattern. I mean, I've seen Barlows before, but look at his really just put me over like, wow, I'm going to check those out. And that's when I went out and I got the K-bar Barlow. But yeah, Rick, I give him the credit of really getting me into the Barlow on the Barlow kick.
Well, when he was on RJ's live, he would walk back and pull him out of a tub and bring him up to the camera like, hey, I got to out of some. And could you imagine what's in those tubs? I'd be in heaven.
Yeah, absolutely. Every tub is a treasure. Yeah. And then Pete loves his sod busters, and that is a good pattern. I love sod busters. I think you do too, right, Big J?
Oh yeah, that's what I started on, and I've got a couple of case sod busters, and I got the Sud Buster by GEC. I broke that out last week, but those things are a nightmare to take in and out of the tubes. But I don't know.
What I EDC that along with the Para 3, the Sod Buster Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they were. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. No, I like the Sod Buster Junior.
Yeah. No, I saw somebody was talking about it's Ray from North Star that he loves canoes and copperheads, and I do too. I brought out my case copperhead, and I really like this model. This is another one with fantastic secondary blade because you see how big it is laying down in the channel, but because it lays flat, these are like perfect to use. The secondary blade you get on this is as big or bigger than most regular size ones that you do have on a pocket knife. These just come out really great. And then I have the Rough Rider version, which has got a different blade set. This was my first copperhead, was this little red jig bone. And I just fell in love with the pattern then. And again, you see how nice that secondary lays alongside. So you don't have to worry about it being in the way when you're using the main blade. And even though this has like the little humped shape to it, it fits right in your hand. And the way that hump is, it goes right in between your middle and ring finger. So it's kind of nice.
Very nice.
I want to say that Doom Crew's got a good collection of copperheads.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't know he was liking those too.
Yeah, he's got some good case knives. He's got some good dandies. But I want to send him an EDC style knife and let him try out that Mohawk and see what he thinks of it. So I want to send that down to him. And
yeah,
I think I really like him.
Are you going to adjust the pocket clip for him before he gets it?
No, I'm just going to send it as is. I just let him do it. Hey, go stab it in some tires, whittle a stick. I don't care. It's a $30 knife.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you, like, if you're just, say you're running around just doing errands and going to the gas station, or you're going to be out for a few hours just running errands, what are you usually carrying on you at that point? Do you just throw like an EDC in your pocket, or are you still doing traditional EDC? What are you carrying around at that point?
Kind of usually I will carry just a regular modern EDC at that point. A lot of times if it's just like I'm just going to run to the gas station or something, I just throw a knife in my pocket or something. I'll just grab one just because they're just easy to use and they're plus you never know what you're going to run into out there. So I usually, if I'm going someplace where everything is unknown as to what my social situation may be, then I'm grabbing an EDC.
Which EDC style knife do you see you grab? Would we see you grabbing most of the time?
Well, most of the time, like I said, my favorites, I grabbed a couple of them right now, or before I came in, and you've already seen the Honey Badger, but I'll grab this Roper, the Buffalo Warrior, because I just love any knife that has a drop shut action. I'll grab that, or I might grab my. I have the Banter and the Baby Banter. Those are great EDC knives too. I didn't grab those, but I usually leave those like out. In this petrified fish. I mean, I was carrying it yesterday, and still love this knife. This is my favorite EDC of last year. Fantastic knife. I love it. I think it's just great. I got this actually from Jason at NebuCloud. He had this knife and he just said, "I hate this knife." He goes, "Does somebody want it?" I was like, "I want it." He's
free
like,
knife, sign me up.
He's like, "Send me $20 and it's yours." I'm like, "Done." But yeah, he didn't like it because it makes there's like a little bit of a squeak to it, but it doesn't bother me a bit. And I love the shape. I love the color. I love everything about this knife. It's got the deep pocket clip. It's just a fantastic everyday knife. And then like I said, I was carrying the Honey Badger today, and that's going to be definitely something. Hey, Big Red is here.
Oh yeah,
he's in the house. Blade Show Texas going for you, and also JB, you need to come on my show.
We need him on Happy Hour live chat.
Yeah, we need to have you on a couple of these things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I haven't shown the Mountain Beaver Junior in a long time. Does that not make the rotation? You know what, TK? I still have it. It's actually out on my counter, and that does make the rotation every once in a while. I just haven't. I haven't carried it in a while. I need to carry that again. So that's a good suggestion for me.
And then Big Red answered with good and tiring.
Okay, well, JB, we'll talk when you get back home. I'll shoot you a DM this week, and we'll see if we can get you on. So.
And I do want to plug. When he does those knife sales, you can pick up some good stuff at a good price off of him when he's doing those knife sales. Like Absolutely. I was very surprised at that Whittler. I expected a little Whittler, and it.
Oh yeah,
that Rough
Rider
Reserve one.
Complained about with that knife when it came out was that they were like, how can they call out a Whittler? Look how big this thing is.
It's massive, but it's a good piece. It is an awesome piece.
Yeah, and guys with big hands, they'd like to whittle too. So there you go.
What am I doing? Well, I don't know what to do with my hands. So, Boston, I think you got 15.
Yes. So you might not. Well, let's see. Are you into other EDC items as well? So, are you into other EDC items as well? When you're off the clock, do you normally carry flashlights, pouches? Excuse me. Can you show us what you have?
Yes, I am a big believer in flashlights, and I have flashlights on all of my keychains. I have a flashlight that I carry at work all the time. My flashlight, since I was working today, I might as well bring it out, is this Olight. This is the S2R baton, and you can see that it's been a couple thousand miles on it. Yeah. But this thing works great, and it works for me. It's lightweight. It's easy to recharge. On my keys, I have a backup flashlight, which is another little Olight that so. Like they say, one is none and two is one. Always have one in case one dies, or if you're someplace you forget something or forget the other one. Here is my little EDC, my classic SD. So I do carry these. I like the blue translucent ones, and so I'm kind of weird because I have a vehicle that my company provides for me for work. And then I have my own personal vehicle. So I have two keychains. I have one that's just like, I just have all my, kind of house stuff is on that one. And then I have my work one, so I have two of these. So I have one on each keychain. And then I got this little thing from CB Tactical. He sent this to me, and it's a little tactical toothpick. I don't know if you guys have seen these or familiar with these.
No, I haven't seen.
So this unscrews the one end, and then it screws in back into the other end, and it's just this little, basically a dart, So it was funny.
That's cool.
Because I had this, and I think it was Christmas, New Year's, or one of these. We're over at my daughter's house, and she'd put out this like snack tray that had like cheese cubes and all this other stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I pull this out, I'm like reaching in there, stabbing a cheese cube, and they're like, what are you doing? It's like, hey, I got it. It works.
That's funny.
Hey, EDC, right?
That's right. You never know. You never know when a snack tray is going to appear, and you can be ready for that in a GIF with one of those.
That is. So are you in like dungeon mechanical rooms a lot where the lighting's just very poor and you got to see stuff,
some of them are, like that. And then others are outdoors and so it just kind of depends on where I'm working, because you never know. And then I've been in buildings when the power's gone out, and when the power goes out, you don't have any light, you need to see what you're doing, or it's buildings, especially when it's like on the weekends or after hours, that the lights are on timers. And then you never know how to turn them on in manual mode or whatever.
Oh yeah. So
I'll just turn on a flashlight and point it at the ceiling, and that usually gives the room enough light that you can see what you're doing. And So
just last week I was driving, I was driving the truck, and it was dark out, and it was I needed a flashlight, right? And I had one in the truck. You always have your flashlight, and I didn't check. The batteries were dead on it. This is really what happened. The batteries were dead on it. So a buddy of mine had a little flashlight on, and we used that. We got done with it, whatever. Long story short, I said to myself, I need to have a flashlight. I as an EDC. So I went to Walmart and I just bought I think it was like $12, but they have a brand over there. I believe it's called, correct me if I'm wrong, Coach or something like that. And I bought it, and it's I think it's 150 luma, and whatever that is.
Lumens.
Lumens. I actually went on Amazon, and I'm gonna be getting one. I spent $35. They're not expensive, but I spent $35 on a very popular brand that someone recommended to me in the last live. It's a very popular brand, but a flashlight is a great EDC. And
absolutely.
Yeah. I kind of learned that the hard way last week when, if your main light goes out, like what you were just talking about, you got to have a backup, right?
Right.
So I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and so I have one coming in the mail. It's a real popular brand, and I'm going to be EDCing that myself.
Yeah. Really, you can't go wrong. And there's so many companies that make them. I mean, I like Olight. I know Olight gets a lot of crap because they're a Chinese company, and that all the YouTubers like it and stuff. But really, they make a good product. That's all I can say. It works. But if you like something else, get something else.
Well, I think Big Red's got a discount code for Olight.
Yeah,
I think
he's
got something going. But he always advertises their sales, and hey, go over, and if you just sign up and go visit them that day, they'll give you like a free little flashlight.
Yeah,
just first.
And that little flashlight that they have is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So for me, I just don't think you can go wrong with having that. But yeah, always have a backup light. Because as you get older, that's the other thing, is that you need more light to see. And you don't. What did they say? I think like if you're 15 or whatever, by the time you're 60, you'll need 4 times more light to see than you did when you were 15. And I know that it's getting to me, because I look at stuff and I can't see as well.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Definitely need more light.
Well, Byron actually put up that about this, a dark building, that's where the new LED lights are good. Olight and others for the light, and the long D-cell mag light is good for bruiser backup. And I do have the large D-cell mag light, and I got the small one that I actually carry in I got this little EDC pouch, and I got the little mag light. My boys got it for me for Father's Day years ago, and I carry it with batteries in it. Then I got 2 AA's that I have in there as well as backup in case the main ones go dead. But I haven't went to a new style light because that flashlight means something to me. So I
So that's probably my main EDC tools. I'd have to say, in order of importance. Like, say I'm just going to the gas station, like you said, just running out at night. I'm going to grab my cell phone, a flashlight, and a pocket knife. And then I'm good to go. Because a lot of people, like I was talking to my one son, I asked him if he carried a flashlight, and he said no, that I don't need one because my cell phone is a flashlight. But I think a cell phone is kind of a poor flashlight. I mean, it will light up a space, but it's just kind of a general light. It doesn't really, light up something, with a good focus. It's kind of a really diffuse kind of light. But
Randy's it's a garbage light. I can't use them. Yeah, I try to use mine, and I can't. I'm just like, this ain't working.
Yep, I'm the same way.
And of course, I bet you got yelled at just like, hold the light.
Oh yeah. That was that's me. Whenever I do phone support for somebody, and they're like, thanks, man, you really helped me get through this problem. I couldn't do it without you. I'm like, hey, you're doing the work. I'm just holding the light.
Yeah. I don't want to bring things down, but like I said, I went through your older videos. A few I couldn't make it through a lot, just because the first week, man, we were slammed at work, and then last week spring break, so we're trying to get work done while people are not around. But
Right.
here's a statement from myself in Boston and Happy Hour Live Chat. Your COVID video from last year, to me, it was heartbreaking to listen to. Even in your illness, you were given praise to the community. Just listen to it. Just listening to that video reminds me of how lucky we are to be a part of this. And in that, I could tell like how strained you were to breathe, let
Yeah.
alone to open a knife and then shoot a video and talk. And even during the video, like you were talking like, hey, I'm not saying wear a mask, don't wear a mask. I'm just saying, I just hope you don't get it.
Yeah.
To me, I'm telling you, I'm like choked up right now because when I was watching that video, I was like, good Lord. I mean, you sounded horrible. I mean, you sounded, I think you were in the hospital, right?
I was hospitalized for 5 days.
Yeah.
And that was in November of 21, I think. And I got out of the hospital on Thanksgiving Day. And that meant that was huge. Getting out on Thanksgiving, that was huge. That was like the best Thanksgiving I ever had.
Right.
You know, to be able to go home and see my family and have dodged that bullet. I was on that respirator on the oxygen, and it totally jacked my voice up and stuff. And I was weak. I was shaking. But you know what? The community, I was talking to the guys, you know, because I had my phone with me. So I was talking, you know, Big Red shouted me out during his live stream that week. People were sending me, you know, prayers and get well messages and, you know, all this other stuff. And that meant a ton to me to keep going and to, you know, want to come back, you know, to that, you know, to the community. And I know that it was killing me because I was like, I gotta make a video. I gotta do it, you know, and, you know, everybody's saying like, oh no, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm like, no, I'm doing it. You know, like I said, sometimes I can be hard headed. And I think that's something that it just comes with, you know, just sticking about stuff. Yeah. Thrifty was there big time. And I'm so thankful for you, John, as a friend. You were really there. Yeah, my wife had COVID at the same time, and it was terrible because, you know, here I am. I have COVID. I had it worse than her. I'm in the hospital. She's at home with COVID, and there's nobody there to help her.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, our son was here, and he helped her as much as he could. But, you know, it's like what do you do when you and your wife both get struck with this this catastrophic illness? You know, it just was horrible.
Well, and you said Thanksgiving of 21, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly when we all had it at our house.
Oh,
but,
okay.
We didn't, you know, we were all pretty good, but listen, and I'm going to recommend if no one's heard that video, I'm telling you, like I was choked up reading that statement right there. So if you haven't watched that video, I recommend to anyone to go search through JR's catalog or RJ's catalog and get down there and watch that video and the statements you made in it, you know, and just saying, hey, you know, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just hoping that you do not get it. So that when you said that, man, I was like, this guy's a good human being. So I had to mention that. I don't know if you wanted me to or not, but
no, it's fine.
yeah. So
fine.
I just want to go and watch it.
I appreciate that it had that impact, you know, for you. But yeah, I totally am not into all the political fights and stuff. You know, the big divide that unfortunately seems to be everywhere. And I really wish people could get back to being together, you know, talk differences out and really make an effort just to, you know, be decent to each other. You know, we have so much trouble and strife in this world. And that's the biggest part of it is that everybody's in this like echo chamber. They listen to everything. And it's not that you think somebody's wrong. It's that, you know, well, they're not part of my tribe. We need to vote them off the island. You know, we're not going to see that family member anymore. You know, this person's cut out of my life. And we need to stop that. You know, we really do. We need to come together. That's one of the things I love about the community. Absolutely, JB. Let people live their own lives. What a concept. Yeah. And that's it. You know, we're all adults that are here, you know, and I have no right to tell you how to run your life or whatever, you know, you could you I can't even speak, but you do you.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's, you know, as long as you're being cool to everybody and you know, not causing trouble and stuff, you know, do your own thing. You know,
Well, I tell you, I got, well, you both know where I work, and it was kind of crazy there, and it still kind of is. But I got an employee, and like her family was split up. You know, someone's having a baby, and they're or coming to visit, and they got a young child, and they're like, "Well, if you're not this, then we don't want you around." I'm sitting there thinking like, "This is your you know, this is your
yeah.
family." You know,
When
so but
everything should be about welcoming this little baby human,
yeah,
which
yeah,
anybody that's a parent, you know what it's like when you have your children. You know what it's like.
yeah,
Well, at least I do. I mean, I'm a grandfather. I don't know
yeah.
if you are, but you know, when you see those babies come into the world and you know the joy that brings, and to you
Oh
know to
yeah.
not see them over you know political differences and stuff is just you know it's just dumb.
The biggest thing that helped me is I quit watching TV like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
And man, it turned my life around. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't see my like you said the word echo chamber, and that's exactly how I used to be. And I
yeah,
shut that off, and my gosh, my life's gotten so much better.
yeah.
It really has.
Have you noticed that all the stuff they tell you on the TV news, but then if you actually stick your head out the window and look around, it's not happening?
Yeah. I'm at the gym. I just don't care. People ask me all the time, well, what do you think about this? I'm like, dude, I don't watch TV, so I don't know what you're talking about. If it ain't knives or weights, I'm not watching it.
There you go.
I haven't watched TV in 7 years. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife, I haven't watched TV in 7 years. I don't watch anything. I got rid of my cable for about 7 years. What I do is I go on YouTube, as you guys. I pick what I want to watch because, like you said, RJ, what they tell you in the news and all that. And I'm gonna keep this short. But when you look outside your window, you don't really see that going on. I work with a bunch of different people at my job, and it doesn't happen what you see on the news. They make, you know. But I agree with you, Big G. I haven't watched TV in 7 years. Not one show, not anything. I don't even watch anymore, you know. But I couldn't agree with you guys more on that one.
Yeah.
Well, Boston, I think you got the number 17. So I think this is our last question, and then we can just kind of do whatever. But
Okay.
The last one here. So it's what's your goals with YouTube? Are you content with what you're doing, especially with the lives, or is there more you're wanting to you want to tackle? Is there more that you want to tackle?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm not going to say that I actually have a specified goal of YouTube. I want to be just a solid member of the YouTube knife community. You know, I want people to you know watch my channel and to you know I want to grow my channel. Of course, I would love to be at 10,000 plus subs, you know, or even 50,000 plus subs. That'd be cool. If I could get one of those little YouTube play buttons, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But you know, will it ever happen? I don't know. But I just really want to have a solid channel that you know when people look back, because you know everything has a end date. You know, I don't. It's open ended right now. I don't know when my channel will end, but you know, just like everything in life, you know, at some point, it's just gonna stop. I hope it's not for a long time. But you know, I just want people to look back if they're watching my older videos and think that was a solid knife channel. I got something out of it. I, you know, found a new knife I would have never looked at if I didn't watch that video. Or even if somebody just watches for confirmation bias and says, hey, I bought, you know, this knife and, you know, I want to see a video about it to see if you know, what the internet thought about it. And, you know, that they look at it and they got something out of my review of it, you know, that would be good. You know, I just want to, Randy WSG, right on, brother. But if it breaks in the mail, it's not the same.
That is funny.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my goals with it. I don't really have like a specific thing, and I'm not, I'm not really worried about making it like a full-time career. This is like a hobby to me. If it turned into a full-time career, that'd be awesome. But, do I think I'm going to have, 5 million, viewers and become like, the Logan Paul of the knife world? I doubt it, but, but you never know.
Right.
Stranger things have happened. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Boston? Are now that you're over 1,000, are you able to do any of the monetization stuff, or I should have asked you that, RJ. I don't even know how that works. Are you a monetized channel that gets so much from YouTube?
I am a monetized channel, and how it works is that you have to have two components of it. Are that you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time in a year, in a calendar year. So that was what I was worried about, was the watch time hours. To tell you the truth, I was really concerned about that, because 4,000 hours, it sounds like a whole lot, but when I got to 1,000 subs, I checked, because it said they send you an email if you're eligible, and they say, hey, you're eligible, do this, do that, and all this other stuff. So I did, and I'm able to earn ad revenue on my channel now. So you see ads, and you get to tell them, when you're a creator, where you want the ads.
Okay.
So I tell them you can put them at the beginning or at the end, but I don't want ads in the middle, because I always dislike that when I'm watching a video and then all of a sudden there's an ad. It just kind of throws the whole thing off. So I don't do that, because I don't like that. And then the money, you'll never get rich being a YouTuber, I can tell you.
What about you, Boston? Did you get the email yet?
Yeah. So basically, it's exactly like what RJ just said. You have to have the 1,000 subscribers, and then you either have to have one or two of the 4,000 hours of watch time, or it's a crazy amount of hours of shorts. So it was.
Right. I think it was 10,000 hours of shorts or something like that. But see, shorts are different, because like if you watch a short, you might have to watch it 2 times just to see what you're really seeing. Then if you stop to write a comment, it'll replay every kind of things, because I'm not a fast typer. So it might play 10 times while I'm doing all that.
Yeah, I actually looked on there to see what I had more of, and I'm closer to the 4,000 of just watch time than I am shorts. So what I'm focused on right now, and it'll come as it comes, is just I think I'm about halfway there, a little bit more than halfway. So that'll just something that will come naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all. But yeah, you hit it right on the head, RJ. That's how that works. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
RJ, do you have anything out there that you didn't show that you're thinking, I want to show them this piece?
You better believe it. I went and pulled so many knives. Are you guys kidding? Guy had no idea what was going to happen. So I pulled out a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see here. How about, I don't know, you want to see canoe?
Oh, yeah.
Here is the Queen cutlery canoe. This is the one that just came out from SMKW. But I like these little guys. They're pretty cool, except the one thing, and I pointed out in my review, is that on a canoe, the tangs are supposed to be covered, and they're not. So I thought that was funny, but it's still a good knife.
I got this Uncle Henry that Pete sent me, and they're covered. And but I know you worked with Uncle Henry and had them. They kind of helped you get some things to give out.
They were really awesome. I'd been in contact with them before, and they hooked me up with being part of the YouTubers that they decided to send some Uncle Henry knives to for review, and that's been a huge help to me, and I'm so thankful for Uncle Henry doing that. And so and they got some really cool knives. Uncle Henry I think did a good job. They went they went back to the drawing board on a lot of their stuff and really did a good job.
Got a question, Jay. I just
Yeah.
got to put my phone in here. So yeah, I just grabbed my charger, but I was hearing what you said. How did that end up happening for you with
Well, it's kind of a funny story.
Yeah.
And it all starts with this knife. This is the Sharp Finger, the OTG, the generational series. So I had this knife, and well, I didn't have it. What happened was I won. They were giving away 4 of these, and I won one on Instagram. So this
Okay.
was a complete Instagram thing. So of course they contact me, and so I just contacted them back, and I said, great, I won the knife. Here's my address, all this other stuff, and so I started talking to them because it's their marketing guys that are doing it. So I was like, do you guys ever work with YouTubers and stuff like that? And they were like, yeah, we do. And at the time, the guys I was talking to, they were doing the old timer knives. And so
I'm sorry. So how'd that happen?
So I won this knife from a giveaway they were doing.
Yep.
So I just emailed the guy back that, talked to me, and I asked him if he works with YouTubers.
Okay, that's okay.
And so he said, yeah, we do. And so he had told me that he was going to send me some old timer knives to review, but then he never sent them, and I was like, okay, cool. Whatever, companies change their mind. And I don't really know the guy. Right. But then now I guess he's working with the Uncle Henry brand, and he reached out to me and he says, hey, would you like to review our knives? I was like, yeah. And so then he sent me a big box of knives. And so that's been really a great thing for me personally and for the channel. It's given me a ton of content. I'm still working through that box. And wow. I really like the knives that they've sent, and I'm just very thankful that they, decided, because they're watching our channels too. They're watching us. They're seeing what we're doing. They're seeing what kind of reviews we're doing, and they want to see, because they want to get their stuff out there. They want people to buy their stuff.
Buck owes me about 5 million knives.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't heard anything from Bark River.
The same thing is that I reached out to ABKT because I like Roper knives, and people were telling me, they should be sending you knives, or they should be paying you for their advertising. I was really, doing a lot of Roper knives in that first year, and so I reached out to them and I said, hey, what can you guys, would you do anything for me or for my channel? But I'm not expecting you guys to, sponsor me or give me, money or anything like that. Just what would you do? And they said, well, we'll give you a discount code. And they said, we'll just do that, and you don't get any compensation from it. It's just, here's for your audience. And so I put that in that discount code in the description box, and that code is great. It's still working. It's for 20% off. They even contacted me when they were going to change their website. They were like, hey, make sure the link still works and stuff. So people are using it, and I hope it's getting really cool knives into people's hands at a discounted price.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Because I wasn't worried about making money for me, but if I can get everybody a deal on a knife, yeah, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't think the big boys like Case and Buck and stuff, they got their own channels, they got their own stuff, they got their own spokesman. They're not worried about what we do.
Right.
So
that guy on them Smoky Mountain commercials.
Yeah, Big Red talks about that. He did that. He did a review of the first Finch Runtley, and now he's good friends with the guys at Finch, and they talk to him, and it's really good. And that's the kind of stuff is that, okay, Tyler, we'll see you. It's the kind of a relationship, because this is a business. As much as we think of it as a hobby, I don't think of it as a money-making enterprise, but we are doing marketing, really for these knife companies, so they want to see stuff that's going to be beneficial for them and, gets eyeballs on their product, because let's face it, they can't run knife commercials during the Super Bowl, You know,
No.
so so they kind of rely on us, and we just, you know, we do the best we can. But I mean, at the end of the day, you know, because everybody looks at a knife individually, and you might say, you know, that this case trapper is great. I can find you 10 guys that say this case trapper is junk and I'd never carry it. I don't like them and whatever. So, yeah, that's true. El Phoenix pointed that out. Big Red, he has a code for free shipping at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. For definitely go take advantage of that. Yeah, I should have an updated discussion, maybe, Byron. Yeah, let's see if that works. I don't know if it will or not. But I do stay in touch with them. I send them emails and stuff. But I know that Roper also changed hands in this last year, so some of the people are still there and some are not. But the knives are still great, you know, because I've continued to buy them, and I just get them out of the stores off the internet like you guys do. I bought them off Amazon or Smoky or wherever, and they come and they're good, you know. So I don't get any kind of a special, you know, custom, you know, make sure everything's perfect on it, and we'll send it out to RJ to review.
Yeah. I'm waiting on Bark River to call me, and I haven't heard nothing yet, so I'll just keep buying them.
That's it.
No, actually, I don't know. I'm starting to reach out and buy other fixed blades now, but I don't know. You know how it is. You kind of,
I hear you, Byron.
Everything goes in a circle, like EDC, traditional fixed blade, and I just try to rotate as much as I can. And
okay, well, I have to show off this fixed blade. This is the one I was on yesterday on Fixed Blade Friday, the off-grid knives, and I got to tell you, man, these are beasts. It is built like a tank, and even Sog Grunt said he needs to get a hold of one. So
I was getting ready to say, that looks like something he would throw, and I think I put that in your comments or something. But
he probably would, you know.
Oh,
yeah. This is just such an awesome knife, you know. It really is. So yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, is that we just have to, you know, talk to different people and see if they're interested, see if they'll bite. You know, and some will and some won't. And like I said, some get back to you, some you'll never hear from. So you just, oh yeah,
Like,
she's thick, JB, just like you like them. Yep, the Backcountry Blackout, that's the name of it. Yeah, it's a great value. It's fantastic, and it's based off of this assisted folder. This
I like
the
it.
rapid fire. Yeah, this one's the coyote tan color, but it also comes in black. But yeah, this is just an awesome thing. In fact, I got this knife right before I went in the hospital.
Oh,
this was a gift from my brother-in-law, and he brought it over to the house because we couldn't have a birthday party or a get-together or anything. And he's like, I got this for you. And he gets me wonderful knives. He really does. He's a great guy. You know, but he got me this, and I didn't even really open it up until I got back from the hospital to even look at it. You know,
Yeah.
but I liked it. What's that?
That's off-grid knives, correct?
Yeah, off-grid knives. Yeah, they make good stuff, and people, I guess about a year or so ago, there was a lot of videos about them. You know, Donnie B All Day did videos on their stuff, and
Yep.
you know, there was the Shredder Knife Reviews did a bunch of stuff with them, and yeah, that's a good stuff. But yeah, they make knives that are just pretty awesome.
I have one here from from off-grid. This is just a small one from them, but this is called the Fat Boy EDC.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I'll tell you, you know, for a small knife, this really gets you. This is built. It's overbuilt.
Yes.
Definitely overbuilt. I wish I could. I don't know how well that's coming in, but it's overbuilt. It's a little tank.
Yes.
It has the button lock here. It really is a tank. If you guys want to see some pretty cool knives, they are overbuilt, check out this company. I really like this for an EDC. You don't always need a huge blade, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Is that an aluminum handle?
Yeah, this is aluminum handle with the button lock on it. And weight on it's only, I mean, I think it's like right around 2 inches or something like that. But it's a great little knife.
Thrifty is saying if he had $1 for every Rough Rider he helped sell, he could buy a Rough Rider.
That's right. That's
I
right.
think I heard, because I go back and I'm trying to do as much researching as I can, and I ran into one of his videos, and I think he said he had 250 Rough Riders. Am I correct by saying that?
I think he did. I think he
Yeah.
did say that. Yeah.
I think it was on a video with you or
But
something.
he buys a lot of the older ones. He goes in for the discontinued series and stuff. And of course, I think he has all of the sow belly patterns that they did. So he was hunting for those. But yeah, John has a great collection of them, and he really goes for the really cool ones. He likes the ones with the horseshoe tank stamp. Yeah, he's chiming in, says 250 at least.
Yeah. When we were at the flea market, and my wife goes, "Well, look at that one. It was a sow belly. It had a couple of sow bellies." I said, "No, he's got all those." So I was like,
here you go, Boston. I have a small EDC knife that I'm sure you haven't seen, but you talk about a small blade getting you through your day. Sometimes when I just feel completely minimalist and I don't want to be weighed down with a bunch of stuff, I just grab this little guy here.
Hey,
it works.
Whatever works.
Yeah, this was a little knife. My wife saw this on a they have that company called Temu. Have you guys heard of that? Yeah. So my wife, I said, see if they got any knives on there. And she looked, and they had this little pocket knife on there for like $1. I was like, yeah, go ahead and get it. But it's kind of cool because it's got a thumb hole opening. Yeah. It's just a little friction slip joint. It's got a little, you can see the back lifts up, but it's got Scandi grind.
Easy to sharpen.
Check that out. It didn't come sharp, but I threw it on the landscape real quick, gave it a couple swipes, and it slices through a receipt. So I was like, hey, good enough.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I paid $275 for a knife that came not sharp. So,
well, that happens. You're just going to see. But yeah, this didn't come real sharp. But yeah, it came with a little that you could put it on your keychain or whatever. But I didn't put that on there because I thought that would ruin the aesthetics of the knife.
I'll tell you, I see a lot of advertisement for Temu when I'm on YouTube.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, we'll get them to sponsor us. That'll be worth some money.
Oh yeah, yep. That's funny.
Then we could do Temu hauls too.
I wish Gerbs was on. I actually had to send him a video last night because I sent him a hammerhead, and he put a handle on it and everything, and he was showing it to me, and I seen his YouTube video and I said, hey man, you did a great job of saving that old hammer that I had in the garage. And because I just get hammerheads and stuff all the time, but I told him I had an old little hatchet out there, an old Canadian made hatchet that I had bought in the antique store. And of course the back was all mushroomed out, and I filed that down and cleaned it up. But I wish he was still on here. But I sent him a video of that last night, and he got it, and he was kind of excited about it. But
nice.
I just pick stuff like that up and bring it home, and it sits in my garage until I get to it. And if I do, I do, and if I don't, I don't.
Gizmo and Randy is also heading out. Randy's WSG.
Oh
he said he just put out a new video, and he even cuts himself in it. So
yeah. Yeah, I was saying something to him, and said I hadn't got a knife as sharp as what that Buck 110 I bought a while back. That's probably one of the sharpest knives that I've received out of a package at a store like that. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
You can get those screaming sharp. That's for sure.
Yep.
Byron, I like his comment.
Oh yeah.
Charcuterie boards are trembling all across the country because of the mini blade and my dart.
That dart was cool though. I'm not gonna lie. I would like to have one of those.
I know a guy who can hook you up.
Yeah. You have to send me a message on where to get those. So
yeah, I'll have to talk to CB and see where he got it. But here I'll put it back together for you. it's a cool little thing. That's for sure. It's hard to get it started in those threads. Come on, you did it before. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Oh man.
a little baby pig sticker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
like you said, peace.
Yep. Just go get you some cheese or whatever.
Hey, what's up, Ronnie? Ronnie, just going on, Ronnie. Like,
Ronnie.
That's a cool little gadget there, huh?
Yeah. It's just for fun. But somebody asked me once, is that thing good for anything? And I was like what? And they said, for some kind of EDC tactical type stuff. I was like, no, not really. It's just a little pick, basically.
Well, RJ, we planned on an hour and a half. We're up to 2 hours and 20 minutes. So we got a while, but no, it's really been great having you on here. This is we didn't expect when we started for this to go this far, and it's just like you said, you hit that play button and everyone just comes in, but it's great having you on here. You're someone that really helped out both of our channels, like we said before.
I'm glad I could do it.
Yeah, I mean, that was great having myself on your live and then Big J on your live a separate time. That helps. It really does when you have smaller channels, whoever it may be. But when you can bring somebody on, that really helps a lot. So, we really wanted to get you on here, and it's it's been a great time. It really
I appreciate it, because I was the same way. I remember when I was just starting out, I was a small channel, and Big Red reached out to me, and other channels gave me shout outs and all this other stuff. And that's what I'm kind of trying to do with the live streams is I want to repay the guys that helped me. I want to get them on the channel, so that they can be exposed more. And then like younger channels like yourselves that are just coming up and stuff, I want to be that helping hand to you guys, to get you more exposure and, get you to be, as big a channel as you can be. It's all about helping each other out and, being a community. That's what it's about.
Oh, absolutely. And this community is, as we always say, fantastic for that, for helping out one another. Whether it be helping out younger channels, whether it be whatever, this community has it all. And reason that I'm a part of it. I'm not on a lot of platforms, but I'm a part of this because of what this community is, what it represents.
Right.
But I applaud you for what you do. You do a lot with the lives and everything else too. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. It's great being on YouTube with this community. That is for sure. And the live streams are something I look forward to every week. I was so excited to be on your show. Right? I think I was more excited to be on your show than I am to do my show tomorrow.
Yeah, because when you're trying to run it, you're looking at the chat, you're trying to pay attention here, and that's what I go through. So I kind of get what you're saying. Right now, you can sit back and just answer questions, and that's why Pete, he was kind of nervous, but like, Pete, me and Boston have questions, and you just got to answer them. Really, you ain't got to come with, hey, I got to entertain. We're going to ask you stuff, right? But then it started flowing, and you get into natural movements outside the conversation, and just start talking about other things, and
That's what I told him, because he told me he was nervous. I said, hey, we're just friends all talking about knives.
Yeah, that's all it is.
We're just having a BS session like we would if we were neighbors and we could talk about these things, or if we're at work and we talk about these things or whatever. We're just hanging out. We're just regular guys.
I think the butterflies go away real quick. That's how it was. The first live I was on was what was it? I think we did the first live, actually. Whoever it was, but the butterflies go away real quick because it comes natural. All you're doing is talking about what you like, Right. But I think the anticipation can get to some people, and that's okay. That's normal, But I mean, it's like, I get that. I get a little bit of the nervousness, but it just comes natural when you get.
Yeah. When I know RJ done Big Red's channel chat, and I was like, you talk about being nervous. I was like, I'm like 3 hours before the thing starts, and I'm like setting stuff up. I'm moving things around. I'm making sure there's nothing in the background, but he just talked to me for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, hey, he's just a guy that likes knives like me. And he was so welcoming. I thank him a lot for that.
JP is awesome. He's good.
And I didn't even know he knew he just sends me a message on Instagram. Like, hey, blah. I'm like, and I told my oldest boy, like he's a Big Red fan, and I was like, you know who Big Red EDC is, don't you? He's like, yeah. It's like, well, he asked me to be on channel chat. He said, what? So yeah, it was exciting. Yeah.
How does he even know you? You're just my
dad. And it's just,
you're not special.
Well, I don't want to come off like I just, I never thought this thing would for me sharpening a knife out there in my garage to what I'm, me and Boston talk so much a day, and then I'm communicating with Pete, and I'm sending you stuff on Instagram. I'm talking to Doom Crew on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like my fingers are sometimes sore because I'm just trying to, but it's fun, man. I've been having a blast with it. Thanks to you guys.
Yeah. I'll extend that invitation, El Phoenix. Mike, when you're ready, we can either do a recorded interview or you can come on a live stream. How's that? And Big Red is a superstar celebrity in our world.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of a kind. And I couldn't have a live stream without showing Thrifty his favorite knife of mine, which is the Recon Tanto.
I did that one as well.
He said that this was my desert island knife when I did his thing. And it was funny seeing his reaction to it. And then what did he say? I think one time he says, that's when I knew you were a psycho or something.
Yeah, he sent me an email yesterday. He said, I haven't stopped laughing since I got this thing, about the one I said.
Put a smile on your face, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Talking is Big Red still in the house, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm going to put a comment up on him right now.
Yeah. That was as good a time to say it as ever. Big Red, the same thing. He offered me for a channel chat, and Big J knows about it. That one day I felt so bad. I think I emailed him about 100 times in about 5 minutes. And I was helping somebody move. I actually sent Big J a video. I was in the storage unit. Big J, you seen it. I witnessed. I felt so bad about that because he had offered me to be on the channel chat, and it was I believe it was a Saturday, right? Yeah, it was Saturday, or it was during the weekend, Saturday, and I was out. They're like, "Hey, can you help me move?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me help you move." And you know how that goes. That goes a lot longer than what you expect.
Always.
So I'm doing it, and I'm like, I'm not going to make it back for my chat with Big Red. And I'm like, oh man, I felt so bad. I think I said to Big Red 100 times in the email, I'm so sorry, Big Red. We just talked on the email the other night. I'm still right here, brother, and I apologize for that.
Yeah, he wants to make it work. He put it in the chat right there. And I know JB is that kind of guy. He is just 100% for the community, 100%. Hashtag DSKFS, do something kind for someone. That's kind of the operating principles, at least, for him and for me too. I definitely, take that to heart. I really, well,
I had to put that up there.
Has to have one, but it helps.
But Big Red, I'm gonna hit you up in an email again. I felt so bad about that day, but I figured while you were on the live,
I should get a couple of these. I could tie them into my beard.
I used to have one the size of RJ's that come all the way down. I had a goatee and it came all the way down to the middle of my chest. And I'd ride my motorcycle and it would blow. I was like, I gotta get rid of that thing. It was all. I go to work and it'd just be sticking straight out.
Hey, you still got the goatee though.
Well, I got the Well, I got a beard, but it's just so gray in the front that it just
Yeah.
looks like a goatee.
They
I'm actually thinking about trimming mine back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I might lose half my subscribers right there.
Or scare a
They may
grandbaby.
not know who it is.
Yeah. Who is that strange man? That's your grandpa.
that's funny.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's been 2 hours and 30 minutes. I know that it's 7:30 where I'm at, so I know it's 8:30 where Boston's at, but I think this has been really good. And RJ, again, I appreciate it so much for you coming on here and being so kind to us.
You're welcome, guys. I like I said, it's my honor to be on here. And if you guys need any kind of assistance that I can help you with, I will definitely be there. Just reach out.
All right.
If there's something I can help with. John, I knew it. What is this, an insurrection?
Yeah. And I want to thank everybody in the chat. Again, I want to thank Jerbs. He's not on here anymore, but he's been moderating and killing it. I want to thank Big Red for coming in and bringing a lot of audience with him to the channel and stuff. And just thanking everybody, not just Big Red, but Thrifty Man, all these guys who come here and they stay the entire time. It is definitely well
awesome,
appreciated.
guys.
Yes.
I love hanging out with all you guys, and I wish this could go even longer. I'm having such a good time.
Yeah, it's a great time. So
I'd be glad to be back anytime. Big
well,
J.
we got to do episode 2 at Jersey so we could show some GECs, and after that we'll get in touch with you. And
sounds great.
Episode 2, absolutely, RJ.
Definitely.
Yeah. Because that's what when we the same thing with Pete, when we run out of time or it's getting a little, we'll have episode 2. So we'll definitely. This has been great.
Yeah, it has.
And other people on your team too. I would love to have Tom, Thrifty, Patty, any one of those guys on here. So and even Jo, anybody on here. Big Red if he's got time for us. Because I know his work schedule's crazy. Like the hours he works and when he shoots his videos, and I'm usually at work at like 6 a.m. and he's already got a video uploaded, and I always call it eating breakfast with Big Red. So, but yeah, I want to thank everybody again, everyone in the chat. You guys got any last words you want to say, Boston or RJ?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to RJ for coming on. It really is. I know that you said you enjoyed yourself, but we enjoyed ourselves as well. And this is big for us. So thank you for coming on. Thank everyone that watched, especially to the end. You guys, it's the same people that every week you guys watch to the end, and it means a lot, just this knife community is great. And thank you guys for being here. And, thank you, RJ, again for coming on.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I really enjoy, being with you guys. I would love to have you both on my live stream as well. It's fantastic. Love hanging out with you guys, and just stay in touch, man. That's all.
Absolutely.
Thanks again, everybody.
Thanks, guys.